Alright, looks like we're live, everybody. Welcome back, assuming you've been with us before, because I haven't shared this anywhere yet, so you're probably not new. If you're here, you're probably subscribed to the channel, notifications turned on, and that's why you're here wicked early, and I do appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And so you probably know a little bit of the drill. The first thing I do is spend a little bit of time social sharing this live stream. Because what if you had a live stream and no one showed up? Honestly, that is a legit serious concern I have about my Vacation Impossible channel. Some people have suggested that I should do live streams on that channel, make some super chat cash or something. And I just, what if nobody shows up? Like, is that a rational fear? I don't know. Makes Toys and More. Hey, we got somebody here. Love some feedback. Cool. Let me just get set up here. How do I sound? And in that sense, I mean, how's the audio quality? Not like how's my voice or my singing ability. Just want to be clear on what I'm asking. How's the audio quality? Is it clear? Is there an echo? Is there a hiss? I'm doing laundry, so hopefully it's not picking up the sound from that too much. Let's see. Just doing some social sharing. Posting this in some Facebook groups that are YouTube specific, most notably Small YouTubers Boost. That's where this adventure began, with the Facebook group Small YouTubers Boost. Facebook.com/groups/Small YouTubers Boost. Don't open it in this window. Don't want to lose you from the live stream. Open another window. Join the group if you're not a member. Super helpful. I learn so much just constantly. In fact, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that I've picked up recently from shares in the group. And that's why you might notice that my background, my browser here, is normally set to the Small YouTubers Boost YouTube channel. It's not today. We're talking about something a little different. Going to start it off with something different, especially for you folks who tune in regularly. I want to keep giving you value, keep it interesting. And the fact is like I'm learning new things all the time about YouTube, about social media, about video production, you name it. We're all on our own journey of discovery, and if I can find something and share it with y'all, then that is pretty dang fantastic as far as I'm concerned. It's a big part of why I'm here. Why am I here? Well, here's the thing. YouTube is a giant success as a platform, as a website, as a content hosting thing. Oh no. Completely unrelated. Sorry, a member from my Vacation Impossible team is doing a charity event today, and it looks like they set up to hand out things to a target community that might need assistance, and it looks like someone stole their table. That is rough. Anyways, yeah, not why we're here. Why is the audio weird? There is a tiny delay. Okay, your audio sounds like it's coming through two sources. This is important information. Thank you, guys. We need to crack this one. Let me see what's going on here. So, for one thing, just going to adjust my microphone position as quietly as I can. So, I mean, it's connected. That seems fine. I'm not great at OBS, so bear with me while I manage this. So, audio input capture. Let's take a look at this. Okay, set that's supposed to be set to the snowball. Okay, well, let's do a test. I'm going to clap my hands, so headphone users take note. But if we're wanting to look for a delay, clapping your hands is actually a very effective way for doing that. So I'm going to clap my hands 3 times. Try to watch the screen and listen carefully, and let me know if the sound is syncing up with the claps if you could. Thank you very much, everyone in chat. Here we go. How are we doing for audio? Did that sync up? How does that, can you hear me? Or is the audio still coming through weird? Just waiting to hear back from chat on the audio situation. Seemed fine. Was sync for me. Sync is good. Cool. And so little blur. Oh, well, and there might be some motion blur. That's just my camera and my internet, probably. That's fine. That's not unusual. I actually have a new cable modem and router I've been meaning to install for weeks now that should actually improve that. It may have delayed a bit, but hard to notice. Okay, cool. So as long as this is workable, like I'm not like having a huge echo or... Did you do a census? That's funny. Not me. Facebook. Okay. Well, in that case, are you feeding us the audio from your browser as well? I don't think so. Window capture settings. Capture cursor. Oh, I think they just put up the chat. That's weird. That wasn't what I was trying to do. It was kind of cool having the chat up there, though. I'm easily distracted. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Let me... I shouldn't be feeding audio from window capture, hopefully, but I'm not entirely certain how that is done. It's the way... Okay, it's the right window. That's fine. Capture the cursor. How do I know in OBS if I'm capturing the audio? Oh, I have desktop audio turned to nothing, so it shouldn't be capturing that. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not an expert at this. Anyways, it's a phasing issue? Like, how bad is the audio? Like, audio quality, if you were to give it a score out of 5, how bad is it? I want to know if I should just, like, should I restart the stream? Should I continue troubleshooting? Or should I dive into what we're wanting to cover? Echo just got worse. That's weird. I didn't change the setting. Okay. It's just gone a bit echo-ash now. Okay, let me see. It's not that bad. It has a little bit of echo. It's irritating. Why does that happen? Why? And the thing that drives me really nuts about the whole thing is, why is it inconsistent? Because I didn't do anything that different. Are you monitoring your stream in your web browser? I am not. Advanced audio properties. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. So there's audio input capture, but there's... Okay, okay, I've got something. Let's see if this does it. Let's see if that does it. Okay. How do I sound now? Did I remove the echo? Would a voice chat live stream lag? I'm not even sure I understand that question. Good. So much better now. I found it. I'm so proud. So for those of you who do OBS streaming, this could be actually useful information. Spot on. Great. So what I did is I went into, let's see if I can remember it now. Yeah. So I clicked on my audio input capture, the gear icon for settings, and I chose advanced audio properties, and it listed out 4 sources just for the way that this is set up: audio input capture, desktop audio, mic aux, video capture device 2. And so I had audio input capture at 100, but I also had mic aux, which I'm not even sure what that's referring to, because I don't think I have another mic attached to this machine. That was at 100 as well. I dropped that to 0. Bob's your uncle. So there you go. Okay, super glad that we got that sorted. All right, so let's dive in, because we've been going for like 9 minutes now, and I haven't been helpful at all, except telling you a little bit about OBS and my struggles with it. So, okay, all right. Thanks everybody for joining us. First off, some ground rules before we dive in. I have 2 basic rules for my live streams. Other than the standard stuff from the group, things like don't bully people, no sub for sub, the usual. Don't break YouTube's terms of service if you can avoid it. But the main 2 rules for these live streams: 1, I won't be subscribing to any channels, even though I might desperately want to. And if I see something I like, I will try to remember. I might go back to it later in my own time. But I'm not subscribing to anything during this live stream, because I don't want the chat to become people trying to sell me on their channels. Because if you do that, you might get 1 subscriber out of me, and that's it. That's the total value you're going to get. But instead, if I can give you some tips, some tricks about YouTube, some understanding of the technical things, or maybe some advice, an idea of a video you can make, whatever, a tutorial, something, then that will hopefully build workflows and processes for you that will work over a long period of time and get you many, many subscribers. And I think that's better value for you, and it's better value for everyone else who's watching. When I go in and I do a channel review, when I try to get a video unstuck, whatever it is, I might be looking at one channel, I might be looking at one video, but the things that I'm going to be talking about are going to apply to most YouTubers, or at least a large swath of them. So that's why no subscriptions. I won't allow myself to do it. It's a rule I follow for myself just to keep things under control. The second rule is I won't watch any videos. I might look at your videos if you want. I can look at your title, description, tags, comments, thumbnails, whatever, but I'm not going to be playing any videos for a couple of reasons. I don't want a content ID match, and I don't want anyone thinking I'm trying to, host or steal your content. None of that's true. I've got my speakers on my system here turned off, so even if there's an autoplay, no audio will come through, and I'll try to pause it right away. So if I do go to your channel or video, I'm going to pause it right away, so you might kind of get a view, depending on how the algorithm counts it or not, but your watch time isn't going to be held by me. Not during this live stream anyway. So those are the two restrictions. Restrictions for me, restrictions for you. It's rules of the road so things go well. So now let's just dive into some of the stuff. I got a couple things I wanted to talk about right off the bat before I start taking requests. But I hope to go for a nice long, maybe marathon. I won't get anyone's hopes up, but hopefully my stamina will keep with me that we can do this for a nice long session today. Got a good chunk of time carved out, hopefully. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is just a little reality check about where a lot of channels are at on YouTube. Because I find that can be helpful to understand where you're at and where YouTube's at. So let's talk number of channels based on how many subscribers they have. Now, I want to be clear that I don't like judging channels by their subscriber count. I think that's not a great thing to do. When I was doing collabs, for example, I would do the collab based on my availability and whether I thought I could complete it in time and if I thought I could add value. If it meant those three, then I said yes. Only then did I check that channel's social blade to see what their subscriber count was, view count, etc., etc. Because I think it's the strength of the idea that that should be the driving force of a collaboration, not can they do something for me. Otherwise, all collabs would only go in one direction, and then no collabs would happen, because the other half of it would never make good sense to collab with someone smaller if you were in this sort of realpolitik, zero-sum game attitude, where, whatever, it's like, oh, because you got a subscriber, it made me shorter, basically. Like, that's not how it works. I think we can all grow together, and that's why I'm here to help everyone. So I just want to have that caveat in there that I try not to judge channels by their subscriber count necessarily too much, and I try not to make that be my first impression. That's information that I try to encounter later, not right away, because it can be inaccurate for a bunch of reasons. For example, and I've talked about this a lot, like an animation channel, you might not be able to put out content as frequently as a daily vlogging channel, so you might not be algorithmically favored in the same way, but that doesn't mean that your content is any better or worse than that other channel. I'm comparing to apples to Volkswagens in that moment, if I'm making a big judgment about your channel. So I just want to make clear that that's not what I'm talking about, but subscribers are an important metric. They unlock functions on the platform, so we should talk about it. So how many channels are at what level, I think is something that's just kind of nice to be aware of. So we'll start with a smaller and work our way up. So for channels with less than 100 subscribers, there are something like 12 million. So that is a lot. So those smaller channels, that's part of why we talk about using things like long tail keywords. Because if you're in a super competitive space, then you need to, be tactical in what you pursue so that you can carve out your slice and then start to grow that pie. Mixing my metaphors there. But that's one of the reasons why we talk about things like long tail keywords. If you have a tag on one of your videos and the tag is just the word YouTube or video or something like that, that's not likely to do anything for you. Because that word is so competitive. And also, it's not very specific. So smaller channels often succeed by niching down, is the expression. You find your niche, but then you get narrower and narrower and narrower, and then it's sort of like micro-targeting, which I know they talk about in politics sometimes. If you can micro-target, then you might own that small term, and then you can start to build an audience from there, potentially. So anyways, less than 100 subscribers, we're talking 12 million. So between 100 and 1,000 subscribers, the channel I'm on right now is currently there. That's 11 million subscribers. 11 million channels. So between 100 and 1,000 subscribers, 11 million channels live in that space. Now, for those of you who've been monetized, we're getting to you probably. So between 1 and 10,000 subscribers is 3 million. So, that is a much narrower competition, but we're still talking millions of channels. It's insane if you think about it. So then you want to think about people above 10,000 subscribers. That is 500,000, 500,000 channels above 10,000 subscribers. And then when you want to talk above 100,000 subscribers, you've got about 80,000 channels. And the information that I've seen, and it's different for everyone, if you were to look at YouTube as a business or a career, it's different for everyone. But generally speaking, the number that I've seen, sort of like a magic number to consider quitting your day job, is around 200,000. So that's just something interesting to consider. It is a slog. It is hard work. The odds are against you. I don't want to be discouraging or demoralizing to anyone, but I also wanted to have a little bit of a reality check that is kind of the competition you're up against. And so that's worth being aware of, because it can adjust your expectations accordingly. Because some people are like, well, I created a channel 5 days ago. I uploaded a video. Why don't I have 1,000 subscribers yet? And I mean, I don't necessarily mean to mock those people, because it is a lack of information. It's not like they're stupid or something. It's just maybe they're not aware of these numbers. And so I think wherever you're at, every now and then it's good to glance at this sort of stuff and be like, okay, so my Vacation Impossible channel, is in that range of having about 3 million channels of similar size. And this channel I'm on right now has like 11 million of a similar size. Very crowded marketplace, which means you need every advantage you can have to gain a foothold, if you will. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit here. I'm not liking the way it's framing me up. Oh, that's an... Sorry, just a second here. I just realized it was really, like, a lot of my ceiling was in the shot. And it was like, I look down at something and suddenly I disappear. I'm wearing my Cinemassacre t-shirt today. Gotta support other YouTubers. I support small and large YouTubers. So, Cinemassacre, if you don't know the Angry Video Game Nerd, if you don't know James Rolfe, and if that's something you're into, you gotta check him out. He's a nice dude. I met him at Portland Retro Gaming Expo a couple years ago. Super, super nice guy. So anyways, that was just a little bit about the competition that we all face as YouTubers, and understanding sort of what level that we're at and the competition at our level. And I mean, I don't want you to feel hemmed in by your level. I just want there to be some understanding, because, like, I talk about TubeBuddy a lot, and I'll be talking about it, of course, because I just can't not. I can't talk intelligently about YouTube and not use the tool. And there's an affiliate link down below. Video's not sponsored. Get the disclaimer out of the way. But one of the things that I find super useful is they have it's in all versions of the browser plugin. But of course the paid version's the complete list, and the free version you get some of them but not all of them. But they have something called best practices. And there is so much to know and remember about YouTube that those 8 things that it reminds you to do are critical. Info cards, end cards, captioning, custom thumbnail, all these different things. And, it's easy to forget a step. So the people who have those tools and do all those 8 things are going to have an advantage over the other 11, 12, 3 million people at the level that they're competing against. And I think that, for some types of channels, for I think many channels, it's the people who stay, they talk about consistency. And consistency can mean post a video every day, every week, whatever. But consistency means something else. I think it is like, maybe it's more resilience is what I'm thinking of, because there's staying power. And so, I mean, I've been on the platform since 2006. I uploaded my first video since 2008. I was an idiot back then about how I managed it. I can be critical in that way about myself. And harsh on myself that way. I think we're all our worst critics, generally speaking, especially when the camera's off. But, I've learned a lot over that time. And I'm still learning things. So let's talk about a new thing that I just learned about today. And this is some interesting information you can get from Facebook. This is what I've got going on here. The URL is obscured by my banner. So if you want to know what it is, it's facebook.com/ads/audience-insights. And this is kind of interesting. I don't know if it works for people who don't have pages. I'm not sure, or who've never run an ad. I don't know. But, maybe jot down that URL or open it in a separate window. Don't do it in this window. You'll lose me. But it's interesting because you can get some interesting information here about people. So I'm actually going to play with this right now in real time and show you something kind of cool. So folks in chat, can I get a country, please? This is like, whose line is it anyways? I need a geographical location. Somebody give me a country. Paul Lando, I grew 90K subs in the last 30 days. I can help with some things I did to grow, but my content is in Spanish. Thrilled to have you here, Paul. That is fantastic. You know, people in the group often ask, like, North Korea. Yeah, let's try. Let's see what Facebook says. It's gonna lose its mind, and then I'll switch to the UK when it freaks out at me. Ah, that's great. I love it. People in the group, just the tangent I was about to go down, are often like, oh, you know, what is a small YouTuber? And I mean, that's a different number for everyone. And I get really concerned about labeling things. Like I said, for me, I think an important threshold is 200,000 subscribers, because that's the point where if you haven't quit your day job, you might want to consider it. But anything could be considered small relative. I mean, if you're not PewDiePie and T-Series battling it out for an arbitrary number and a throne that only, I think, the media generally cares about, and maybe some fans, you know, small is in the eye of the beholder. And the simple fact is we're called Small YouTubers Boost because we want to be opening and welcoming to everyone. And, you know, if someone considers themselves a very big YouTuber, then maybe they're not in a learning mode. I would like to think that I'll perpetually be in a learning mode. And so the idea in our group is you can learn from absolutely anyone. So, you know, you might, you know, the guy with 3 subscribers might find an interesting article that they might share that give you insights into something. Or they might have 3 subscribers on their channel, but maybe they used to help out a big one. Or whatever. You know, maybe they only just started YouTube, but they've got their Instagram game down pat. And so the fact is you can learn from absolutely everyone. And so I don't let size, you know, worry too much about that. But okay, let's see, is North Korea. I haven't used this before. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Maybe I need to, okay. North Korea. That's weird. It's not. I gotta click somewhere? What are you doing? Stepping off the record, hitting enter, return, nothing. Okay, let's try something else. I'm just gonna type in Canada because, okay, go away notification. Okay, there's an autocomplete that comes up. That's the thing. So as you type, it should autocomplete. Cannot target the following location. Yeah, sorry. As predicted, North Korea is not here. Oh, there's a place in Russia that is UK. That's interesting. Oh, it's listing out cities. Okay, well, fine. Let's do London. I love London. London is lovely. Okay, so we're going to target London. Can someone give me an age range in chat? Sunny old England. England's lovely. I'm not sure how to say your spot there. 18 to 24. Okay. 18 to 24. A very young demographic. That's a demo that television really cares about. Should we look at men or women? Pick a gender. I want to narrow it down a little bit to test this out. I want to show you something that I was testing on this. I didn't even know about this tool before, or at least I haven't played with it in a while. But boys or girls? Come on. So we pick men. All right, there we go, men. That's probably good enough for our purposes. So what Facebook is doing is it's showing us, of course, Facebook wants to sell us ads. So they're showing us, you know, people that you could target with an ad. So it's not necessarily everyone on Facebook, and not everyone declares things like their age, their gender, or their city, for example, much less their country. So anyways, we're looking here at all of the men aged 18 to 24 in London, okay? And so there's some interesting information here. Like, for example, you know, a vast majority of them are single. Makes sense. Some are in a relationship. Some are engaged. Some are married. And that's interesting. And down here, you get job title, which is very interesting. So for this age group and this city and that gender, sales makes up the majority of the jobs. There's food and restaurants, arts, entertainment, sports, media. Like legal services is very little versus the others. And that actually makes some sense. I think intuitively we would kind of expect it. And I think it compares it here against like the rest of Facebook generally. Yeah. So anyways, that's okay. But what do you do with that? Like let's say that you wanted to make a video or an ad that was going to target men in London, that they in particular would be interested in something that you're making, a video. So let's say you're doing a video on men's fashion for people 18 to 24 in London. Okay, this can give you an idea about the audience that you are making your video for or targeting an ad at. So, for example, if they happen to work in sales, so you know, maybe they work in retail sales, or maybe it's B2B sales or something else, but that tells you a little something about your audience that you might use to inform how you structure your content. Like, you see, legal services is very small. So if you're doing men's fashion and you're like, if you want to look sharp in the courtroom today, then you need to dress this way. That's probably not going to resonate with a large portion of that audience, because there's very few of them that are actually working in legal services. But if you said, okay, you're in the office or you're in the shop, then that might more likely resonate with them. So that's a little interesting, but we haven't gotten to the cool stuff yet. You can hop over here to page likes. This is where it gets really interesting, and yeah, actually it really is, because this is pages that people have liked that are men in London aged 18 to 24, and the number one thing, Ralph Lauren. So there you go, that example I was just talking about. If you're doing men's fashion and you want to target the London male in that age, if you talk about Ralph Lauren, that might resonate with them because they like that brand on Facebook more likely. So what we're doing here is we're using these Facebook analytics that are free to anyone, and you're using it to learn about your audience. Because when you're competing against 12, 11, 3 million other YouTubers, not necessarily in your niche, but it may be sort of your level of subscribers, then really understanding and targeting down is quite good. So there's a musician. There's the number 2 thing. Well, actually, what this is these are top 10 categories, and then the top thing in each category. So the top musician, the top computer, Windows. You know, the top shopping and retail is Adidas. Amusement parks, Thorpe Park. Electronics, it's Sony and Beats by Dre. It says movie theater, but I think they mean movie, Spider-Man. And so there's interesting entertainment website, Will's Mum. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's relatively innocuous. I'm actually just going to click on it. And let's go take a look and see what that is. I was looking at this earlier today for my Vacation Impossible channel. Well, that's interesting. So I was looking at this for my Vacation Impossible channel, and I basically looked at my analytics for my demographics for my channel for its entire lifespan, going all the way back to 2008. And then I plugged in those things, like the country was the United States, the age range was like 34 to 44, I think, and male. And there was one thing that came up, it was like some Mr. Dad or something, I forget what it was. That was the top page that was looked at. And so I looked at that, and I kind of glanced at it. It was a thing I'd never heard of, but that was like the top thing that was liked by people in my target demo. So that's interesting. So like, I'm a dad. Would it be good for me to make a video talking about, because it's a travel channel, you know, oop, hold on, private messages are showing up. Why are they showing up? They shouldn't be showing up. It normally doesn't do that. Anyways, I need to get off the Facebook platform. Mod team, if you're watching, stop messaging me. Anyways, so that gave me some insight into my audience. And I have I think a fairly broad audience. So knowing my audience is something I struggle with. And that's an area I think of potential growth for me, because like, I'll watch Roberto Blake's videos. I like him quite a lot. And he talks about knowing your audience. And he says, you know, if you're watching this, you're probably in your 30s, you're probably tech savvy, your friends and family probably totally don't get the YouTube thing that you're doing. You're here because you want to learn some specific things and maybe get a little motivation. And I'm like, he knows me. Because, you know, you're probably somewhat geeky. You probably like sci-fi. I'm like, stop. How do you know these things? You know, and he's got tons of subscribers, and so he knows a lot about his audience, and it seemed like witchcraft to me for the longest time, but I think this is one of the possible tools you could use to learn about your particular audience. So page likes, here you go. Let's say that you want to target people in London for whatever reason. Maybe they've got a high CPM, or it's where you live, or whatever. Maybe there's let's say you're a gamer. And you know that there's like a game design studio in London. You'd be like, hey, it'd be cool if we could work together. Maybe if I got more of a London following, that would help. I don't know. So let's say you're a gamer and you want to target men in London at this particular age. What game should I play? People ask that in the Facebook group all the time, all day long. We get that. Should I, do Super Nintendo or Nintendo? Should I do this or that? All the time. Or just, hey, tell me a game to play. I got your answer right here on my screen. Because if you're targeting men in London of a certain age, Need for Speed is the #1 page that they like. So make Need for Speed videos if that's your target audience. Or, another thing, think about it backwards. Maybe you make Need for Speed videos already. Well, hello. It looks like men in London might be interested in that. How does that advantage you? How can you use that? I don't know. Is there a London gamers Facebook group you could join? Is there a, London Need for Speed players subreddit, or I don't know what? Is there a tournament that might be held there or something? I don't know. But this information could really inform you. And you could also go to that page and interact with the page as well. In a good way. Don't go and spam your channel or anything, but go and comment something funny from your channel. Like, if you've created a page for your channel and you go and you comment something funny on a meme that Need for Speed posts or something, and people are like, hey, that's funny, they could click through, look at your page, and look to see other witty, funny things, and now you got them potentially. So there you go. I can't believe Kung Fu Panda is #9. I guess they liked it when they were younger and then they got older. That's my guess, but I don't know. Beats by Dre. If you're targeting, if you're a tech channel and you're targeting men in London, maybe doing a review of Beats by Dre or a comparison of the different kinds, or are they doing an Are They Worth It video, something like that. This is some useful, I think, potential insights. So, oh, you thought the main demographic of my channel was younger for Vacation Impossible? Yeah, it's there's a lot in the younger demographics as well, and also slightly older. It's actually a really narrow difference between those, so that's fine. Anyways, yeah, so there you go. That's just a tool I wanted to show you guys, but now we can kind of go to the more traditional stuff here for these live streams, where I go and I look at channels. So it looks like Meg's Toys and More was the first person in chat. Hello, we would love some feedback. Cool. What kind of feedback are you looking for? Let me just first hop over to YouTube. Say goodbye, Facebook. No, I don't want to buy an ad today. I've run some ads on Facebook. They haven't been super great for me, so either I'm doing it wrong or it's maybe not the platform for me to advertise on. Okay, yeah, we're talking about the audio thing before. So much better. Yes, can I please have as much advice as possible? Good and bad things I can change. Well, it's pretty broad. I mean, I think that gets into channel review territory. And I think, yeah, Google Trends. I've heard good things about Google Trends as well. I need to learn more about that myself. But yeah, that's actually a really good point. So, I think I've looked at this channel before. It sounds familiar. So I'll do a bit of a channel review. I'll find any advice that I can give. First thing, now that we're on the YouTube platform, you might notice that my YouTube could look a little different from yours, and there's a couple potential reasons for that. One, I have dark mode on because I had a massive headache the other day, and I just like it. I use dark mode on my phone. But that's also worthwhile to consider because, I think everyone thinks about the default layout, and that's where most people are. But making sure that your stuff looks good in both modes is not a bad idea. If you're counting on the white background of YouTube blending into the white background of your profile picture, your thumbnail, might not always be the case. I don't think it's a big concern, but it's not a bad idea. So I'm in dark mode. The other thing is I do have YouTube Premium I got recently. I watch a lot of MSNBC, and I was getting so sick of Lester Holt's ads at the beginning, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to make those ads stop forever. They bullied me into it. I'm largely kidding about that. My lighting here is not the greatest. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a little better. But yeah, so there's that's different. And the third and the biggest thing that you might notice right now is that big white box over on, I always get my left and right mixed up here, over on that side. That is the TubeBuddy browser extension that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, there's an affiliate link down below. I am currently logged in as the Vacation Impossible channel, which is my primary channel, which I've been doing since forever. And I got a legendary account on that, and that's why, like, the most used tags, you see that there's, like, a lot of results. Like, I could scroll for days, and that's because I got, like, the biggest package. Even if you get the free one, I think it shows you the top 3. So even the free one gives you a lot of really useful tools. I can't recommend it enough. But I just wanted to point that out because people are often like, why does your YouTube look crazy, Ray? And completely random, but you might have noticed on my hand, I've got a sticker here. I mean, a stamp here. I went to a comedy club last night to see Stephen Hofstetter, which was interesting because he had an assistant put little business cards on every table that has his social media links. So that's something to consider. I mean, I've got a couple of those sorts of things myself here. So I've got the one that I designed myself prior to getting my custom URL, my Vacation Impossible one there. Oh, that's nice. I'm not getting too much glare. And on the back, it's got like the web. Oh, there's the glare. It's got like, you know, the website and the Instagram, the Twitter, and a few things. But that was before I had my custom URL. And then I subscribed to something called Promobox with Vistaprint, where they make things based on your logo and information. And so they designed this nice little square one. And it has my custom URL at the bottom and our little logo at the back. So that's kind of cool. I do unboxing videos on this channel here, Small YouTubers Boost. I just filmed my 4th Vistaprint Promobox unboxing. And so that's basically a subscription service. It's $26 a month Canadian. I'm Canadian, so that's the only experience I can speak to. Yeah, you get a whole bunch of stuff that their design team comes up with. You just fill out a questionnaire, upload some logos, some links, and they create stuff for you. And some of it is awesome, and some of it's not less awesome, but that's how those kind of box services go. They made this coffee mug for me, which I think is really cool. It's got my little logo on there. I'm just drinking water. Okay, so anyways, Meg's Toys and More. Let's check chat. I want to make sure everything's still ticking along. What's a good percentage for CTR for a channel as a whole? I've heard 5% is a great target to hit, but I don't know a lot about CTR myself. I'm really resisting using the new Creator Studio, so when it's no longer a choice, I'll probably dive into it more, or when I learn more about it. But I've heard that, like 3 to 5% is pretty good. Anything above 5% is like freaking amazing. So don't beat yourselves up on those CTRs if you're in that range. You're actually doing quite good. So Meg's Toys and More. She's concealing concealing might be the wrong word, but she's not sharing her subscriber count, which I disagree personally. I think that it's good to share that for a couple of reasons. I think it can only do good. I don't think it can harm you. I don't think people see a low subscriber count and say, I'm not checking that out. I don't think people see a high subscriber count and say, I'm not going there. I just don't think it happens. I mean, maybe it does, but I think that if it's a smaller one, then like they might be like, oh, I'm on the ground floor of this. It's someone I can support, that kind of thing. And if they're big, it's like, oh, they're successful. Maybe we can learn. I mean, I'm a fellow YouTuber, so I might look at it differently than your average audience member. But I think the average audience member probably doesn't care much. Depending on the nature of the channel, like if it's a vlogging channel or behind the scenes where you're like talking about your YouTube journey, I think people like seeing that and they, oh, okay, he's doing well, you know. So I don't know that there's an advantage in not sharing the subscriber count. And particularly in my ability to provide advice for your channel, I'm not going to have full access to all of the information like when people are subscribing. If I were to look at Chanalytics, for example. Another YouTube or another TubeBuddy feature. So that's probably my first piece of advice is share it. Just be open about it. Let people come along on the journey with you. So the description here that shows up in search results is, my name is Meg. Welcome to my channel. Join me for toy and game reviews, travel, arts and crafts, and much more. So you don't. That's pretty good. I mean, I think my name is Meg. Welcome to my channel is a little unnecessary because Meg is in the name of the channel. And welcome to my channel, it's not searchable, it doesn't add anything really. I mean, I guess it's a manners and a conversational thing, but as a general description, I don't know that it adds value. But at the same time, that having been said, you're really getting your point across here, you know, before it gets cut off quite nicely. Toy and game reviews, travel, arts and crafts, and much more. Sorry. I don't want to cough right into the microphone. So I think you're doing fine because you're getting the main points out there. But again, talking about how competitive things are, niching down being a good idea as much as you can. You know, if you remove that first sentence and put some more specifics, What kinds of games? Are we talking video games? Are we talking board games? You know, if you could give an example of a specific one or something, then people might have a greater understanding of what your channel's about before they jump in, so that when they jump in, they get what they expect. So I just did also notice something here. So the the fourth result is my first toboggan ride, and that looks cool. But I noticed the description. It says, join Meg's Toys and More crew, subscribe here. So for the beginning of this video description should actually be describing the video, not asking people to subscribe. But that wasn't the thing that caught my eye. The thing that caught my eye, because it's an opportunity for improvement, is I see the URL you shared. It's youtube.com/c/Meg's Toys and More. It should work without the C. So you tighten it up, and it looks a little better. It's a little thing you can do, but why not? It's easy. Go for the quick wins. I don't know why I'm coughing so much. I think I got the water down the wrong tube or something at one point. All right. Unboxing new science toys. That's cool. 100 views. Oh, and now I can see your subscriber count. Did you just change it, or was like things not displaying right? I don't know. Maybe that was like an old setting that didn't refresh. Hey, Josh. Welcome to the show. Glad you're able to get the stream to work. Okay, let's see here. So you've got popular channels over to the side. So I talk about this a lot on these live streams. So if you've seen this before, brace yourselves. Now might be a great time for a bathroom break. So I'm going to talk about something you heard before. But basically, there are two modules on the right-hand side of your channel, and I highly recommend activating both of them. And you've activated one of the two here. So you've activated the popular channels. And as the algorithm in YouTube gets to know you better, that will potentially switch over to similar, or is it? I forget what it's called. Related channels. It'll switch over to related channels, and it'll show things specifically targeted. And it's funny because this is already kind of doing it, but not fully. Because there's like a kids show, there's a toys show, a playhouse. Like, it's interesting that it's still titled popular channels, but it looks like what it's doing is actually related. So you're doing well there. And don't be surprised if that label changes on you. That's totally normal. But if you were to post something that was completely off-brand, then it might kick it back over to popular. That happens to me. Like, I'm a travel channel, Vacation Impossible, and we did a lot of videos on cruising. And so we were getting related channels for other cruising channels, which was pretty cool. But then I put out a road trip video, and YouTube loses its damn fool mind and suddenly pops me over to popular, and it's recommending PewDiePie and stuff. And it's like, fine, that's the game you play with the algorithm. I understand that. But that's the experience you'll have there. But the other widget, module, whatever you want to call it, applet that you could put over there when you go to your channel and click Edit Channel, is you can activate one where you recommend specific channels. And I do highly recommend this for a few reasons. One, the algorithms tends to favor people, in my experience, who use all of the features available. I think it shows the algorithm in YouTube that you're serious about it. You're doing everything you can for success. And it also, I think, both to the algorithm and to the community, either the YouTube community or the toy community or whatever community anyone happens to be in, if you recommend specific channels there, it's good for you. It shows that you're a good member of the community. You want to see other people succeed. You support other YouTubers, which I'm all about. And it can potentially increase your session watch time as well. So if somebody came to your channel, maybe watched if you had a channel trailer, which I recommend you create a channel trailer. I admit it's not necessarily easy. I talk about it like it's easy, but I haven't done it myself. So you know, and if Achilles Melee were here, he would tell you that I've been getting on him because he's like, oh, I'm gonna make a channel trailer. And I'm like, do it. You know, I'm trying to be motivating, try to be like a gym buddy. I'm like, you work out today, bro. But you know, what did I say? I said I was like the social media equivalent of a gym buddy. It's like, where's that channel trailer, man? Let's get together. Sorry, headphone users, if that was too loud. So anyways, so channel trailer is a good idea to have, but if somebody watches that and then maybe they click on a channel you recommend and then they go down a YouTube rabbit hole and watch 2 hours of content on somebody else's channel, you get, kind of like, algorithmically speaking, partial credit for session watch time. So maybe you're the gateway video to the platform. Somebody watches your video on Facebook or Reddit or, you know, somewhere else, clicks through to the platform, they check out your channel, then they go watch somebody else for 2 hours. You have acquired YouTube, potentially a new customer. And that's a high value for any business. In fact, people sometimes, wonder what was the dot-com bubble all about, around like 1998 and 99, 2000. What was going on then? Why were people just stupid about the internet? And that wasn't really what it was. I mean, there was a lot of like, oh, we're all going to make trillions of dollars really easily. There was a little bit of that, but I think and there was also like stock market insecurities and overconfidence and corrections and stuff like that. But I think at its core, when you get down to the fundamentals of like actual dollars changing hands, what happened was you had a whole bunch of startups. Amazon, Pets.com, MSN, all these different things. And they were basically new businesses. Even if they were an established business that was just trying to build their online presence, it's functionally a new business, even if it's just a new stream of your business. And you need to build a customer base so that people can have word of mouth recommendations. You can have users in your social media thing. So many different reasons that those early adopters are critical. And so they were willing to spend a lot of money to get new customers in the early days to jumpstart, kickstart, begin their new business. And so they were spending giant amounts of advertising money to acquire a new customer. And so for businesses in their ad budgets, they often will have a specific set dollar figure that they are willing to spend to acquire a new customer. Maybe it's an ad that they run. Maybe it's a discount that they offer or something else, a sponsorship, whatever. But that's a part of their budget. And so they consider if you're bringing in new business has particularly high value versus maybe repeat business, because they might get repeat business based solely on the quality of their product, their service, their brand. It's that new customer is the harder one to get. So in the early days of the internet, they were spending tons of money to build the initial customer base, and then they weren't willing to spend $5 to get a new customer. Maybe now it was only $1 to get a new customer in advertising or whatever. And so when they hit that tipping point, they started making those decisions and shifting. Maybe we're going to spend our ad money getting our customers to buy more or to come back or to tell friends, not necessarily acquire them through advertising. Then the advertising budgets collapsed. And that's when you saw like things like, anyone in chat, have you ever heard of All Advantage? I actually did that in like 98, which was the silliest thing, but I made a couple $100. But that's what caused those things to collapse, because the ad money was going from like $5 per ad placement to like 5 cents for ad placement in like a year, because the businesses were starting to get rolling, and it was a startup cost. It wasn't going to be an ongoing fiscal commitment. And so why am I talking about this? That's because if somebody watches your video, and ideally if it's the first video they've watched that day or on YouTube ever, or, in that particular session, whatever, but then they go down a rabbit hole of watching your content, other people's content, whatever, YouTube's going to be like, nice, neat. And so they're going to be like, that video gets people to stay on our platform. That video is an entryway. It's, I talked before, and I've got my prop ready again. I've talked before about funnels, right? So if you are up here bringing in new traffic that stays on YouTube for a nice long time, YouTube rewards you for that algorithmically, because your video is helping their business. So you're more likely to come up in search and recommended, because what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is if you're the last video they watch and then they shut down the browser, close their computer, go to a different website, whatever it is. So recommending other people, it's... If you take sort of a zero-sum game approach to YouTube and say, well, I want people to keep watching my videos, and of course we all do, but it's actually short-sighted. It's like, what's that old give them the pickle customer service training thing, where it's like this guy went into a restaurant his whole life and always got extra pickles, and one day they wanted to charge him 50 cents for the extra pickles. It was the last 50 cents they ever made from that guy. Lost a lifelong customer. And so it's that kind of a thing. It's like, and I'm not saying you're doing that necessarily, but if we're having that mentality where it's like, these are my subscribers and my viewers, and I will not share, and I'm going to keep them. And, hey, give them value, connect with them, create a community, and do those sorts of things. But this sort of like you're eating at prison and you have to guard them from going anywhere else, I think actually in the long term is detrimental, both algorithmically and in the sense of the community goodwill that you might gain. If you're going to be shouted out by someone else or collab with somebody else, somebody who's effusive, I think, and like I am happy to recommend other small YouTubers. If you want somebody funny, check out Brett Westgore. He made some videos about saving up for a Tesla. Frickin' hilarious. If you like rockabilly music, go check out Max Hickson.
He's on YouTube and on Spotify. He does like Buddy Holly covers and his own original stuff. Fantastic. If you want to see robots smashing into each other, and trust me, you do, even if it sounds crazy. It's like, it's one of those things that on paper sounds crazy, but in reality is frickin' awesome. Stupid Robot Fighting League out of New Zealand. He's in chat right now, and he's very active in the group. Check out those guys. I don't think it costs me anything to say those things. And if you go check out those people instead of Vacation Impossible or instead of another video here on Small YouTubers Boost, that's cool. You pay it forward. You know, maybe you believe in karma. Maybe it's that old 90s song lyric, you get what you give. And it all ends up coming back, because when you support other people, that you genuinely, you gotta be sincere. Don't recommend somebody who is like, you recommend me, I'll recommend you, and you check out their content and it's no good. Don't do that, because you're damaging your credibility. And just be sincere. I mean, if you're being insincere, how could you be having fun at any of this? And so, you know, there's people I would recommend, and then there's people that I probably would not. Or that I maybe would to, if I knew the audience more specifically, like, oh, I think you might be interested in this specific thing. But those are 3 people I can recommend to almost anyone, because I think that they've got actually broader appeal than you would think. And so doing stuff like that is good, because also, I mean, rant videos might be popular. Angry Video Game Nerd is angry and swears a lot. It's right in his name. But I think that people who are positive and generous and recommend others, I think people enjoy watching that more. I think so. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. But if I got to pick an audience, I think picking an audience that is positive and likes to support other people is the audience I would want more than the audience that just wants to complain all the time. And this is mine and nobody else can have it and I'm not going to share because, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm not doing a Gollum impression. I don't like Lord of the Rings. Flame me in the comments if you like. But that's you know, it's a bit of a tangent, but it's not just about this one module. It's a philosophical attitude thing that I think can make a big influence, and I think it'll make people happier to watch your content, and I think it'll make you happier to create it when you have that. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm not. But this could be a point where people might make an assumption, and so let's give them positive things to assume. Something else about your channel, looking at the banner, the way that it's cropping is a little unusual. It's pretty good, it's legible and fine, but it feels like it's lacking a little bit of, I hate to say professionalism, that might be the word. Design aesthetic, maybe? I don't know. What I would recommend is moving it up a little bit. Just because the bottom of the G and the Y is getting cut off, and so I imagine that the image you have behind that is probably bigger. And so if you have the source material, you know, kind of moving it up, like recropping it basically, so that this appears in the right spot where the words aren't being cut off at all, I think would look a little better. As well, because it's being cut off at that point, like the kid on the left, their tongue is sticking out, it looks like, but it's being cut off. The mouth is being cut off on the other side. So, like, I think cropping some of the hair would make more sense than that, because the hair is there and it's part of who they are and their personality, I suppose, but the expression on the face is what communicates more information and is more emotionally engaging and connecting for your audience. So I think having the bottom part of their mouth visible is more important than what their hair is doing above a certain point. So for those reasons, I would suggest reframing that. And it's pretty good, don't get me wrong. I just think it could be like, you know, 10% better. And, you know, 5 or 10% difference can be the difference between success and failure in the modern world. You know, I believe that, you know, 5% more or less of anything could make the difference. So let's find your 5%. I think that's 5% you could get on your banner right there. But otherwise that's pretty good. And I mentioned this before, but you can Google YouTube banner templates, and what you really want, there's a lot out there, and you can just find them. Image search will probably work, where people have gone, and there's actually YouTube itself on Google, they have something, but it's not exactly what you want, because you want something that's in real, like, the proper size. And you can make your own. Maybe I should make my own one day. I don't know. I don't know where I'd host it. But the idea is that it has all of the places where it will be cropped on different devices. And so then what I recommend is if you've got Photoshop, put it in Photoshop, put it as lock it as a layer at 50% transparency on top. And then everything you do, you have, they're like grid lines at that point, right? And so everything that people absolutely must see should be in the smallest box in its entirety. And then for everything else, just look at where the lines are intersecting with the image. And if that's where you want it to be cut off on certain platforms, you're golden, but be intentional about that. Make it a conscious choice. If it's cutting somebody's face in half, or like their eye partway through and you get 3/4 of a person or whatever, if you don't want it to look that way, then you might want to make adjustments so that, okay, maybe this person's all the way in, or you know what, no, this person's just going to be not visible on that device. Maybe that's what it is. And, you know, that's really important for words so that things are legible and readable. So some thoughts there. So you got uploads, Meg's Toys and More unboxing, which is an interesting name for a playlist. I would be tempted to not include the channel name in the playlist name and just put it as unboxing. And I mean, I presume these are all toy unboxings. The ones that I see are. So I would say toy unboxings or unboxing toys might be a better name for the playlist, because excuse me, if people are searching your channel name, awesome, for one. And I think for smaller YouTubers, that's rare. But also, they're gonna find you, right? So I don't know that you need to put it in the playlist name as much. Just my opinion. Everything's just my opinion. I'm not like YouTube certified or anything. I'm just a guy who's done a thing for a while. Okay, let's see here. Meg's Toys and More Travel. I think it's sort of a branding thing. I get what you're doing there. Also, here, if you want to keep it as Meg's Toys and More Unboxing, that's fine. Capitalize the U in unboxing, so it's consistent. Like, you did that with travel. Looks very nice. Disneyland Paris. Cool. Oh, yeah, more Disneyland Paris and stuff. As a travel channel, this is kind of my jam. The thumbnail for my first toboggan ride. I would totally watch that, by the way. My thinking about the thumbnail, how we can punch that up. In Photoshop, and I'm sure other programs have ways of doing this too, I just happen to know Photoshop, is if you click on the background image as a layer, and you go to adjust something called the vibrance, and you increase it by 25 points, and the saturation by 25 points, your greens will look richer and more green. Your blue will be more blue, and it'll pop. And I find that when images scale for thumbnails, as they do, they get compressed and they get shrunk down. More so for mobile. I'm on desktop right now, so it's probably the least shrunk down it's likely to look on the platform. And then on like some message boards it'll appear really big. But when it gets compressed down, I think it loses saturation and vibrancy. And so, like, I don't do a lot of green screen effects on my channel as a travel channel, because then it's like, well, do you know if I was ever really there? I want to keep it as real and authentic as possible there. I've only used a green screen effect once. Because of that. So how do I square that with the fact that I enhance my images on my thumbnails, right? Where's the moral line being drawn there? And part of that is because I think I'm compensating for the loss in vibrance and saturation that occurs on compression. So I feel completely justified in making it look a little bit more green, a little bit more blue, whatever I need to do to make it really a sharp image. Because then when you watch the video, it will probably be much more closer to accurate than as it's dulled down in compression. So, yeah, I would up the vibrance and the saturation on the background image by about 25 points on each in Photoshop so that the colors pop more, so the eye is drawn to it more, and it's a little bit more colorful and engaging, especially because it's caught amongst these, like, Disney colors and other bright colors that you got, the yellow and the pinks and the purples and the blues and stuff. That versus some of those artificial colors, it looks a little dull by comparison. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but I mean that in, this is potentially a very easy opportunity to just punch it up. And again, another 5% might be all it takes to make something more successful. And this is a video that I would watch. I've seen this thumbnail before when I reviewed your channel. I did not remember to go back and watch it for whatever reason. Didn't come up in my recommended. So maybe one day I'll get around to it. My other thought is it's my first toboggan ride, which is interesting. Thinking about the image, what I would consider doing is just say toboggan ride on the thumbnail. Whether or not you do it for the title, you can use TubeBuddy to kind of look at you could do some keyword research there if you want. Because, again, longer often works better for keywords. But for an image, I think I think you do want words, but I think fewer words is generally better because then the words can be bigger, they'll scale better, and you'll see them better on different devices and different resolutions. So in this particular case, I might consider adjusting that color. I don't know that the pink is working great. I mean, it does contrast against the blue fairly well. But I'd remove the word my first and just go toboggan ride. Capitalize toboggan, capitalize ride. You've already capitalized toboggan. Make it a little bigger, put it center and higher up in the image so that it's kind of contrasting nicely against the blue background of the sky. And I don't know how great that font is scaling. I'm not sure what font that is. Arial, something else maybe. There is a font out there called Bebas and another one called Bebas New. So it's BEBASNEUE. And if you Google it, you can find it for free and just install it for free on any Windows machine. So it doesn't cost you anything. And when you see it, you'll be like, hey, that's the one that all those famous YouTube vloggers use for their titles. I read about it in like Scientific American, like when I was flying back from Hawaii. We had to wait at the airport and it was going to be a long flight and I knew I couldn't sleep on the flight. So I actually bought magazines like it was the 90s or something. And there was like a Scientific American, I think it was, or Popular Mechanics. And they had an issue that was all about YouTube. And I read it through and they talked about the Bebas New font. And the Bebas New font is very popular because it's free and also because it scales incredibly well, even when it's like, you know, part of an image. And so I think that the scaling on that font will look a little better than the one that you're currently using. So that's my recommendation for that thumbnail, for example. Make it say Toboggan Ride, slightly larger, center higher up, Bebas New font, capitalize the R. And again, the background, increase the vibrance and the saturation. And I think that thumbnail will perform better for you. No guarantee, but that's my theory. You've got a collaborations playlist, but there's only 2 videos. You got gaming, but there's only 3 videos. So I'm not sure that you want these on your homepage just yet. I would wait until the playlists have 5 videos so that it fills up the opportunity. It feels incomplete from a design aesthetic. The layout's not balanced as a result. I could be nitpicking there. But the other thing is that I would replace the 2 of them with popular uploads. So that, you know, and put it at the bottom. And so that people can be like, hey, what's your best game? It's one of the questions we get in the Facebook group a lot, and on like link drop threads, which are sometimes the bane of our existence. But, you know, hey, free speech, gotta tolerate it. But people will often post, well, post your best video. Post your favorite video. I'm like, oh my God. I have something like 431 videos on Vacation Impossible. I don't even know how many I have on this channel. Probably a good another 30, 25, something. Best? What does that even mean? Like, maybe when I had less than 100 videos, I could consider one as my best work. But out of 400 and like, how could I even like hold all of them in my brain at once to decide what the best is? I don't know. You know, I love all of my children. Don't make me choose. It's hard. Best and favorite and, you know, whatever, there's no standard of comparison. And I understand why they ask that. I would actually ask that potentially myself, because I'm like, hey, you know what, maybe I've got some time to check out some channels. Show me your best work. I can understand that, but as someone trying to fulfill that request, it's like, oh my God. You know, best could easily be the most viewed thing. Best could easily be the video that got me the most subscribers. Those two are not the same video. It could be the one that I had the most fun filming. I loved parasailing in Mazatlan with my GoPro wrist-mounted thing. Oh, that was awesome. I had great fun doing that. I don't know if it's my best video. I don't know. So that kind of stuff I struggle with. So when it comes to popular uploads, let YouTube do the work for you. It will just sort it by view count. It'll always be your 5 most popular, or most watched videos, I should say specifically. And you set it and forget it. And so if another video takes over the number 5 spot, it automatically updates behind the scenes. You don't have to do a thing. And anyone who lands on your channel can instantly go to see what is your most viewed stuff, which may or may not be considered most successful or most, you know, most watched, or however you want it, your best, favorite, whatever you want to describe it. Yeah, so just getting some comments on YouTube videos. It's kind of cool. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Playlists. Okay, interesting stuff here. Heelys. You could put Heelys as a playlist on your main page because it's got 5 videos on it. It's interesting that you seem to have some playlists that are like, they have numbers. A couple of them seem to be related to time. 180 minutes playlist, 30 minutes. Are these playlists so you could sit like a kid down and they could watch something for exactly 30 minutes? Support 60, I wonder what that is, because that makes me think of not great things. It doesn't seem to have a description of the playlist. And everyone, have a description for your playlist. In fact, I made a playlist and I don't have a description. Should I tutorial that? What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. I think I can do it without showing stuff that I'm not allowed to show. You know what? I just want to be careful. I don't want to upset the YouTube gods. Let me just quickly, in an unshared screen, get us to the right page. And I will show you how to make a description for your playlists. We're doing a live tutorial here on Small YouTubers Boost. Just at the hour mark. Wow, that flew by. It does not feel like we've been live for an hour. Of course, I spent like 10 minutes fighting with the audio, but you know. YouTube has very particular rules about what kind of revenue information you share. I think it's just the CPMs you're not allowed to share, but I don't want to attempt fate. So let me just see if this works. Oh, you know what? Haha, I know what I can do. Let's see if this works. I'm pretty confident. Here we go. Here's my playlist for Vacation Impossible. So I'm in the Creator Studio Classic. In order to reach it, you want to click on your icon in the top right-hand corner, click Creator Studio. Might take you to the new version, bottom left-hand, switch to Classic, and that's how you get here. Under Video Manager, and I clicked on Playlists. So you see here, I am been a very naughty boy. I've got a lot of playlists that have descriptions, but I have a lot that, I actually have quite a few that don't. Not cool, Ray. So here, there's this new one here. I'm going to click Edit Playlist. Edit. Add a description. And here's where you put in your description. So it's a few clicks. It's a little nested. So it's slightly tedious. But the thing is, if you're doing it and other people aren't, that's a competitive advantage for you. So take the time. And, you know, people don't have tons of playlists generally. So, you know, it shouldn't be that hard. So here is my current season of videos that I grouped my trips by what I call season. So this is the 30th trip that I've shown on my channel. And so Ray and Sam fly from Vancouver to LA and take a 4-day cruise on the Carnival Inspiration to Catalina and Ensenada. Short and easy. So why did I pick that particular description? I mentioned that we're flying from Vancouver to LA, and you'll notice that the current videos that I have here are all about flying. One is what you do at the airport, if it's like your first time being to an airport, and the other one is my first time being in a lounge at an airport, which was pretty cool, by the way. And I also mentioned 4-day cruise, Carnival Inspiration, Catalina, Ensenada. Those are all searchable terms that will probably be appearing in the titles, description, tags, and possibly spoken in my videos as well, that are going to be coming and added to this playlist. So there you go. You just step, they call it stepping off the record or clicking outside of the box, and it's saved. And this playlist now has a description, and that's all it takes. So if you're doing it and the competition isn't, then that's an advantage to you, because again, it's data for the hungry algorithms, like hungry hippos. And it wants data. It wants information. It wants to increase its confidence that it's pegged you right, that it knows what your video and what your channel and what your playlists are about. So the more information you give it, and even better, the more information that reinforces it's about what it is in fact actually about, the better it'll do for you. The higher YouTube's confidence that this video is about flying, if people are searching flying, it's more likely to come up in search results, because YouTube doesn't like risk. Most businesses don't. They're gonna say like, okay, am I gonna show this guy that's searching about, you know, what to do at an airport, am I gonna show him something that I think could be about an airport, but might be like, I don't know, gameplay from Counter-Strike that was at an airport level? Or the guy that I absolutely 100% know this is about airport stuff. Well, what would you do? Of course, you're going to have the thing that has more confidence. And the algorithm's doing this in an instant behind the scenes. And so it's a computer, you know, doing all of that. And so you got to feed it data. And so that's what I'm doing here. So I have now, for these two videos and for this playlist, I think, because they're all connected, increased its understanding. Okay, this is about flying from Vancouver to LA. There'll be stuff about cruises, this particular ship, these particular ports. So there you go. Live tutorial here on Small YouTubers Boost. And then you can see, I can refresh this. No description, description. And I need to do that for some of the other ones here too. There's smaller ones and stuff, but I need to do that, but I won't make you guys sit through me doing that. But it is just that easy. Let's go back to your channel here. And let's take a look at Chanalytics. This is one of those TubeBuddy tools. So this is part of the browser plugin. You get this with the free version, so there's no reason not to have it, unless maybe you don't have a desktop computer to work in which case you got problems I can't help you with. It does this little thing. It's a TubeBuddy quirk. I will always tell you the truth, and the truth of this is it's not perfect. And so when it first loads, the subscriber tab for me doesn't show up. You have to toggle over to views or videos, and then go back to subscribers, and then it'll populate. So it's an extra step. It's a little workaround, but hey, it gets you the information you need still pretty easily. Pretty good. So no social links are present. And so I must have spoken about this before when I did your channel review before, months and months and months ago, but I do recommend having channel links. I recommend protecting your brand. I've got a video about it here on this channel, but basically the scenario is, let's say Jimmy Kimmel discovers your channel, and wait a minute, did you fix your banner already? Banner's looking better now. Okay, that's interesting. Cool. Wow, did you just do that? That's awesome. Real time. Did you, since I started talking about your channel, have you shared your subscriber count and changed your banner position? If so, that's kind of awesome. Sorry, just checking out chat for a second here. I turned it on when you started the video. That's awesome. Cool. I hope it works out. I think this looks better. I mean, chat, tell them, like, the heads are complete. The text isn't cut off. I think this looks way better, personally. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Sorry, I just noticed that in the background when I was looking at the Chanalytics here. And you know, your images are great. They're sharp, they're professional, they're nice, they're bright, they're colorful, they're friendly, they're accessible. And so that's great. But okay, so let's say, you know, I don't know. Jimmy Kimmel's kid's too young. Who's got older kids? I don't know. Colbert, maybe. I'm not sure what his kids are, how old they are. But let's say some famous person with kids, and maybe their kid stumbles across your channel and they're binge watching it. And maybe like, you know, the comedian will make a joke about that. Be like, you know, my kid stumbled across this YouTube channel, Meg's Toys and More. Have you seen this thing? Well, you know, they were watching it, you know, for hours, and I was trying to get their attention. I dressed up as a clown, and they didn't even notice me or something. I don't know. I can't construct a joke that quickly. But that's not beyond the realm of possibility of happening, is it? It's not. There's no rule of the universe that makes that impossible. You know, it could be part of a setup for a joke, or it could. Who knows? Who knows where? You know, I use the metaphor of a lottery. YouTube is like a lottery where every day you get a ticket, or for every video gets a ticket. And the thing is, they keep calling your ticket's always valid, and they keep calling more numbers, right? So as much as I talk about, you know, 1 in 12 million, 1 in 11 million, the odds are remote, not unlike a lottery. But the fact is, you know, the tickets you buy with your time and your effort. So if it's something you enjoy, and you enjoy basically putting in the time and effort, and buying the tickets is fun for you, then go and do it. You know, as this metaphor might hold up and be serviceable. And so these little things we do increases the odds that your ticket will get called up. It's like buying more tickets. And so let's say that happens. You know, Colbert's up there and he says, "Hey, have you heard of this thing?" You know, like that old late night talk show delivery guy. Have you heard of this? You know, going back to like Carson and stuff probably. So, and then all of a sudden, like you're asleep. You know, you called it an early night. Maybe you got kids. You know, you went to bed at like 10 o'clock. And while you're asleep, some crazy talk show host mentions your channel. You know, millions of viewers. Then the net, you know, and then like a clip of it gets uploaded online, and you know people are checking out your channel. You wake up and you've got 10 times the number of subscribers you had before. You got 1 million views while you were asleep. Wow. Okay, this is awesome. But wait a minute. Colbert mentioned me in this hypothetical dream scenario. They didn't reach out to me. They didn't contact me at all. That's weird. I mean, they could have asked for permission, or at least let me know they were going to do that. Huh, why didn't they do that? Well, maybe because I'm not on Twitter. Maybe that's how they reach out. I mean, it's the way of the world now. A lot of businesses operate a lot of their communication endeavors through social media. Facebook message is, you know, it's you watch the news, and Like, okay, here's an example. I was last night at Yuck Yucks Vancouver. There's my proof. See, Steve Hofstadter, and he's talking about his adopted sister and how the birth mother of his adopted sister reached out to him through a Facebook message. Maybe not the best version of that story. So if we were to, like, let's say it was a brand who wanted to do a sponsorship deal, and TubeBuddy sponsors the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group. That started through a Facebook message. They contacted us and said, "Hey, what if you were able to offer a discount for our product to your members? What do you think about that?" And then we kind of went back and forth on it. And so I was able to secure a 20% discount. And if you go to facebook.com/groups/small YouTubers Boost, go to the announcements section. There's a code that will save you 20% off if you decide to get the paid version of TubeBuddy. But that all started as a Facebook message. That's where it began. So, if you have a page on Facebook, you can use maybe some Facebook ads or even just that analytics thing I was talking about. You can see who likes it. Give them another place to like you and promote you. Why not? I talked about the funnel. I'm going to get my prop back because it's fun. Have all the different potential sources to drive people into the funnel if the funnel ends wherever. Your YouTube channel, your website, your Instagram, wherever you want them to end up that gives maximum value or enjoyment to you. Have as many inputs as possible. And so, let's say, you blew up overnight. You're an instant success. You're like, oh, maybe they didn't contact me because I don't have a Facebook page and I don't have a Twitter. I should go make those things. And so then you go and you see what handles are available, and you're like, wait a minute, somebody else has got it. And I'm not saying this is the case with you, because I think I've seen you on Twitter. I'm not sure. But this is more generally. I try to make these tips general, even though I'm looking at a specific channel. They just try to prompt me to talk generally about things. And you're like, oh, well, there's already someone with my name, and they've got 1,400 followers. That's my picture. That's my profile picture. They're pretending to be me. Well, now I've got a real problem, because they've got the username that's most obviously me. I'm going to have to go in and put the real Megs and Toys and More, or Megs Toys and More official. It's going to be the longer username, and that's not as good. The shorter usernames are more valuable. And now you're fighting to control your brand. And that sucks. But if you had taken 90 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it takes you, 15 minutes, to go and create accounts on a couple of platforms, I would suggest as many as possible. You don't have to link them all to your YouTube. But I think it's a good idea to be present on Instagram and Twitter as a bare minimum, and maybe a Facebook page that people can like. And then you put in your social links in your channel description, and they appear in the banner, and people can click on them. I've got a podcast. I've got a link to my audio podcast. Things like that. And it serves a couple of purposes to have the presence. For one thing, you're securing your brand. Small YouTubers Boost has a bit of a problem with imposters, and it's kind of funny and a little frustrating. So it started about a year ago, and somebody created a Discord. There was more than one that this happened with. I think it was around like the second or third one. I'm like, this is a problem. Where Matthew Crafty created an official Discord. I think it's since changed into a different one. I don't know. I trust him. He's one of the mods. He manages the Discords. I get virtually no complaints, so they're doing a great job as far as I'm concerned. They have my total blessing and confidence to run the Small YouTubers Boost Discord without me, because I don't understand that technology. I've stuck my head in twice for like 2 seconds, and that's about it. But there were some people who created Discords and said that they were Small YouTubers Boost. There were people pretending to be me on Discord. Pretending to be me administrating this Discord, saying, oh yeah, it's Ray from Small YouTubers Boost. And then I was getting like Facebook messages like, why were you a jerk in Discord today? I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never used Discord. And they're like, things are out of control in your Discord group. And I'm like, what's going on, right? And then I would go and I would ask Matthew, or some of it I think predated our official Discord. I'm not sure. But the point is, there were like 2 or 3 Discords out there at least like a year ago that were pretending to be us. And that was kind of bad because it was giving us a bad name. And it was wasting my time when people sent me Facebook messages. And they were like, get your Discord in control. And I'm like, I'd have to have one first. And it's actually been happening again more recently, since probably August or September of last year. There have been copycat Facebook groups out there now. And so they will go and they will add the word video or channel into the middle. So it'll be Small YouTubers Channel Boost or Video Boost or some other thing, or Boost Channels or whatever. One of them has sub for sub on the end, and I just want to strangle them because like that is rule 1. Rule 1 of Small YouTubers Boost, no sub for sub. Can't say that enough. And so, and then I get messages where it's like, oh, somebody in your group is messaging me inappropriate things. And I'm like, well, damn. All right, let's find them. This isn't cool. Send me a screenshot, because I'm not going to take your word for it. I need some proof, because maybe it's a personal thing I don't want to get involved in. There's a screenshot. That's a horrible message. How could they send that to you? That's not my group. I don't have the word channel in my group. And so I'm getting messages that are frankly wasting my time. I mean, I don't want to sound dismissive about it, but I'm actually really busy. And like, I don't have as much time to do things as I would like to, in terms of running Vacation Impossible, doing more live streams, helping more channels in the group, watching videos. I do it when I can, but it's hard to find that time, and it's getting harder and harder as the group gets bigger. And so these things are wasting my time. It's not even about anything I'm working on. It's these imposters are bad actors. They're misbehaving. And it's a little frustrating. Some of them have stolen a little bit of our look. Our logo's not the greatest, so like that's whatever. I think we need a real refresh of our whole look. I don't know where to begin. But like they would copy our 4 rules verbatim, and I know because I wrote the wording myself. And they've evolved over time. And so it's like, oh, that's a copy from last August. I know. I changed that word for clarity later. And they'll copy it word for word, and then they'll add 6 more rules. Whereas the big thing about Small YouTubers Boost is we only have 4 rules. I call it 4 rules strong, as an Asimov callback, because he had the 3 rules of robotics. But it was like, it's 4 rules strong, because if it's more than that, it becomes too much to expect everyone to know. 77,000 people are going to learn 10 rules? Forget that. It doesn't make sense. And I think the strength of our community is we only have 4 rules, and everything else is freedom of speech, as long as it doesn't break those 4 rules. And I think that's a power. And it's, and so there's other groups out there that have fewer rules, more rules, whatever. If we're not your cup of tea, that's fantastic. There's other options out there. It's fine. I'm not going to take it personal. But the people who pretend to be us so much so that they think it's me, and then I get these messages, it's frustrating. So how did I respond to this problem? Well, I told Matthew, I was like, hey, get that Discord going. Well, no, he was already doing it. That wasn't my idea. But I mean, I let him know that it was happening, and I went out and I created the Small YouTubers Boost Twitter account, which is right there. Look at that. That's handy. I created the YouTube channel. You're on it right now, because I thought about it and I was like, okay, well, if these people are, pretending to be us on Discord and Facebook, where else are they going to do it? What's next? Where's the next logical place? I'm just having the Tums. And so, I mean, hey, it's YouTubers Boost. They're going to probably try it on YouTube. So I got to get there first and lock it down. And so I did. I created this channel. And I had a bit of a push trying to get to the first 100 subscribers, because I was worried someone would take the URL. That someone would pretend to be us. They would sub for sub or bot or buy their way into 100 subscribers, which wouldn't work in theory. Should get it shut down. But I didn't need the delay. I didn't need that to fight with. I didn't need that causing brand confusion, giving us a bad name. And so I had a bit of a push to get to 100 subscribers so I can lock down the URL for this channel, and I did. So it is youtube.com/smallyoutubersboost. Nice and easy to share. Very consistent. So, and so now, if someone wanted to pretend to be us on those platforms, it's very much harder. Because our channel or account was created first, so it predates them, and it's got the usernames, hopefully, that are more in line with the brand. So I think every YouTuber should do that, even if you never use it. It's okay. It's okay to have a Twitter account that's stagnant, and then maybe one day you decide that there's a need for it. Or, I'm on Snapchat. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with Snapchat. I don't know how to use it. I've got Vacation Impossible there because I wanted to lock down the username. And maybe over time I'll figure it out. Here's a rare social media thing that most people don't even know about, something called Vero. It's Vero. I think it's exclusively mobile. Just bringing it up on my phone right there. I like it because I find it's a lot easier than Snapchat. And so I'm on there. Vacation Impossible's on there. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I started off with sharing just links to videos. And that's what I'm still doing right now. And like Instagram. Don't necessarily know what I'm doing with it. Vacation Impossible, share some vacation pictures, some thumbnails. For Small YouTubers Boost, we're on Instagram as well. Started off by announcing every time we hit 1,000 more members, and a couple other things here and there. I'm thinking what I'd like to do is use it as a platform to help highlight other YouTubers like Matt Hickson and Stupid Robot Fighting League and Brett Westgore and people like that. I think that'd be cool. So it's okay to have a social media account and not yet know where you're going with it, what its ultimate purpose will be. you can let it evolve, let it happen organically. But I do recommend people lock those things down so you don't run into that imposter problem, particularly if one day you blow up overnight and it happens while you're asleep. And then someone on the other side of the planet pretends to be you. So anyway, social links, that's what I recommend. The other thing there, too, is it helps with verification. Not on YouTube, because YouTube now has a subscriber threshold to get verified. But Instagram doesn't have that. Twitter doesn't have that. Facebook doesn't have that. So when Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those sorts of platforms are thinking, are we going to verify this person? One of the things that is quite common for other platforms to do is they will look at your other social media accounts. If the logo and the name and the content is consistent and cross-linked, then it adds to the possibility that you're really the official account, right? And so it won't help you get verified on YouTube, but it will help you potentially get verified on all those other places. And then you can use those other places, you know what I'm reaching for, the funnel. Because then, oh, you're verified on Instagram. You know, well then there could be a whole lot more traffic coming through that part of the funnel because you've got that blue check mark that says you're an authority or that you're real. Or however people interpret a verification. So those are reasons to do that. So you got some tags here. They're not bad. One is just the letter S. I'd remove that. I think what happened is you had children apostrophe S. If you put children with the apostrophe S in quotation marks in your channel tags, then it'll be one channel tag. That'll be better. And again, I would go for some longer keyword things. So like LOL has got to be insanely competitive. Games, maybe, you know, more specific. Video games, board games, or even more specific than that would be better. But you got a good start there. It's not bad. Because you got toys and you got reviews. I don't know that word reviews on its own is doing much for you, but toy reviews together as, again, with quotation marks around it or commas around it, I think that would be better. Let's see, how's your subscriber stuff going? Well, you're growing faster than I am in subscribers, so good for you there. You got 9 on March 11th. It's kind of up and down all over the place, but it's stagnated since the 19th, which is interesting. I bet you will see no new videos from the 19th. Am I right? Yeah. There's nothing you can do that helps your channel more than putting out a new video. I've seen it time and time again. I am ready to say, and I can't offer a guarantee because if I'm wrong, I don't know how I would make that right. But it's as close to a guarantee as I can get without giving you one. I am certain, I am confident that I know for fact that putting out a new video helps all of your other videos. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it, like, generally on Vacation Impossible, I post on weekends because I like posting early in the day and I can't do that when I'm working at my day job. So to get maximum view velocity in that important first hour, I need to be there to socially share it actively on a variety of platforms and engage with my audience right away. Did it this morning. And earlier in the day works for my kind of channel. And so I can't do it on a work day, basically. So I will notice that my views will go up across my channel after I post a new video by much more than the views that new video gets. Today I posted a video. Actually, yesterday is a better example. I'd been getting about 600 views a day as the week was wearing on. And then yesterday I posted a new video. That new video has 23 views. But my channel views per day have gone up by 200 since I posted that. 23 views gets you 200. That math is funny. What's going on? My understanding, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that I'm totally confident of this answer, is that having a video that is marked new improves all your other videos in search and discovery. It's true. So even if your new video bombs, I mean, try not to have a video that bombs, you know, and by that I mean does badly, not is the bomb, thebomb.com. Somebody said that at work once. It was very funny. I'm like, wow, you just said that out loud. But anyways, even if that video does not do well, 23 views for my channel, not great. But it helped all the other videos do a little bit better. And multiply that across my 400 odd videos, 200 more views a day across the channel because I released a video that maybe wasn't great. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it weird? That's why these daily people do so well. It's the algorithmic advantage. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you want the algorithm doing some of the work for you, more of the work for you, a new video is the biggest thing you can do for your channel at any time. I still say not more than one a day. But you know, somebody in the group earlier this morning, the new person joined in. They said, "What can I do to?" They tell us nothing about their channel. They're like, "I just started a channel. What can I do to do well?" I was gonna respond, but something distracted me. I got caught up in something else. But it's basically put out a video. That's the answer. That's the number one thing. After you put out the video, then get into the niggling details. You know, then maybe, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to re-optimize an old video. I'm gonna go, you know, change up my links, or I'm gonna go whatever. But, you know, the biggest thing you can do to help a channel, whoever you are, new video. Every time. Every time. Will never hurt. Let's see here. Views are pretty consistent, so that's cool. Not a lot to say about that. I think I've spent a lot of time on this channel. So I'm going to head over to chat now and see what's what. What have I missed in chat? How's everybody doing? Are you bored yet? More beard. No. You're lucky you get this much beard. I like using the 1 guard on my beard trimmer, and that broke like a couple years ago, so I've been using a 2 guard ever since. When that beard trimmer dies and I get a new one, I'm going back to the 1, so it's going to be even trimmer. So, sorry. Not a beard guy. I might be in Stupid Robot Fighting League's latest video. Awesome. I gotta check that out. Chat just kind of scrolls funny for me, so it's kind of hard to get caught up here. I'm still waiting for that break, but first I need to get a computer. Ray's a great guy. Love his advice. Thank you, Josh. That's awesome. I'm still scared my URL will be stolen, but whatever. Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like, if there's a sense of panic and urgency around getting to a subscriber account, the one that I understand is 100 subscribers because of that potential fear. You're probably okay. I don't know that it is a real concern. I think it might have been paranoia on my part, but I get it. I get where that fear and that concern comes from. Oh, Kevin says that I've helped him grow. That's awesome, man. I love hearing that. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here and I was able to help. Oh, Brent, welcome. Glad you're able to make it. I'm doing well. Got dry lips. I'm out of chapstick. Other than that, I'm good. Let's see. Okay, looks like chat's behaving itself, so that's cool. Let's see. Second person to speak was Stupid Robot Fighting League, other than a mukbang. And I mean, I can go grab food if you want. I can grab a snack or something. What would you like? Is there anything I can do for you today? And also, John, thank you for helping me troubleshoot my audio. If it wasn't for you guys in chat, I wouldn't know how bad I was. A bane of live streaming, ain't that the truth? More beard. Ray's best video is this mukbang video. Should I plug the mukbang video? Just trying to think of what you might want. There you go. So, Stupid Robot Fighting League challenged me to do a mukbang video. And so I took the challenge one day at a local restaurant here in Vancouver called White Spot. We're a travel channel, so the way that I did that was in the style of a restaurant review. So it's like, if you travel to the west coast of Canada, check out White Spot. So the first half of the video, and it's a long one, it's 21 minutes. First half of that video was us reviewing the restaurant, and then the latter half of it is just straight up mukbang. Camera pointed at us while we're eating. And what I did was, because I had to edit it, right? And so I'm editing 10 minutes of me eating dinner. I don't understand the appeal of mukbang channels and videos and creators, and no disrespect to them. I'm just saying it's something that's different from me. I was like, okay, well, because I don't get it, I had to edit it and go through it, make sure there weren't audio spikes and things. I got bored watching myself eat food. And so I put in little Easter eggs. Here's a funny one. There is at one point I put up the Wi-Fi password, and here's I'll reveal what it is. This is funny. So I put up this Wi-Fi password, and I'm like, this Wi-Fi password is insane. And then I was like, doesn't it just drive you crazy that you don't even know who it's for? I'll tell you who it's for since you're here. It's for the Hard Rock Cafe in Cozumel. So if you take a cruise to Cozumel, Mexico, and you get off at the port, and like there's like a Hard Rock Cafe that's like a block and a half away. And now most Hard Rocks, I don't know if I should be talking about this, but whatever. Most Hard Rocks all have the same username and password. It's normally Hard Rock, or Hard Rock Cafe, whatever, something like that, right? You can generally figure it out. It's pretty easy. You don't necessarily have to eat there. Although their food is great. I love the big cheeseburger. So there's your free Wi-Fi there. But for some reason, at this one Hard Rock in Cozumel, they have this insane password. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's like they can't hear me if I whisper. But they have this one. It's insane. And like the network name is insane. It's from, I guess, the local internet provider. It's not like they haven't customized it to say Hard Rock or anything. And so it's got this insane string of characters. And there's not a lot of free Wi-Fi in Cozumel anywhere. And so I took a picture when I got the password one time, because also I had to re-enter it because it wasn't taking it the first couple times. So I took a picture on, like, it was like 2 phones ago on a BlackBerry, to put that in perspective for you. But they haven't changed their password as far as I know since then. So I always copy the picture over to a new phone, and I don't like paying for like internet when I travel. So every time I'm in Cozumel, I bring up this really old picture. I go outside the Hard Rock and I scam on their Wi-Fi. And so that's how I tried to make a mukbang interesting. So there you go. Just go to the next person. Cool. Watch that video. So much lettuce. Oh yeah, there was a lot of lettuce. That's why Ray is nice. He is Canadian, yes. And I'm prone to apologizing. And I have free healthcare, and it's lovely. Yeah, Easter eggs could be fun. I just figured it was such a long video. I wanted to give anyone who sat through it, I wanted to give them something funny. And so there's other pictures and little jokes that I use titles and pop up in the eating part. So watch it sometime, straight to the end, and hopefully you'll find something to laugh at. Wario Craft, looks like you're next. What can I do for you today? Corrected the audio. Oh, Amanda's here. Welcome, Amanda. Sorry I didn't notice you earlier. You have to have 1,000 subs to get monetized. That is correct. Demographics of my channel. It's probably not what you're looking for, but just while I wait, WarioCraft, if you're still here, what are you looking for? In the meantime, I can happily, I think, share the demographics of my channel that I don't believe is protected information. I just need to do this in a careful way. So you're curious about demographics. And we'll make it a little tutorial. You guys want to know how to find out the age of your viewers? No problem. Ray's got you. I got you, fam. I only talk like that ironically. Okay. So you're going to want to go into Creator Studio. You click on your logo in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You choose Creator Studio. Click Creator Studio Classic because it's a whole lot easier to use. Click Analytics on the left-hand side, just down from that. Oh, here, you can't see it because my big fat face is in the way. Let's see, is that better? Yeah. So you click Analytics, and then just further down from Analytics, can I get that to show? Oh yeah, no, there it is. Okay, yeah, it's quite visible actually. Click Demographics, and then you get this cool little graph here. So let's take a look. This is my Vacation Impossible channel. When you're in the Creator Studio and you're looking at your analytics, it will always default to 28 days. For some reason, it really likes that. Maybe it likes zombie movies, or 4 weeks is often about a month. I don't know why they like to use that. Maybe it's just a good bite size of data that it's enough for certain things. But let's go lifetime. And this will take a moment to load because my channel is old. Actually, that came up pretty fast. So here, you can see here that despite creating my account in 2006, it does begin lifetime, I think, at my first video upload, which is interesting. I didn't notice that before, but that makes sense. It was the first opportunity for anyone to actually view a video. So October 17th, 2008 was my debut on YouTube. Who knew that it would last this long or take us to this strange and wonderful place that we're at? I am surprised. So every now and then there are glitches where data is lost. So for example, on September 1st of 2012, there was a problem where the watch time wasn't available. And there were some other things in October of 2018. But anyways, here's how my channel breaks down. So Vacation Impossible, yeah, I guess it isn't that young an audience. Which, hey, it is what it is. Good or bad, I don't know. But you'll see that my largest demographic is age 35 to 44, which is interesting. So that is where that is my age range. So I'm connecting with an audience of my age. And then the next one is age 25 to 34. And so that makes sense. I think that like if we're looking at the vast majority of my audience coming from ages 25 to 44 makes sense because I do a lot of travel videos and a lot of cruise videos. And you generally have to have money to travel, so you have to have some sort of career established in theory to be able to travel more. Although I would encourage people to travel at whatever age that they can, and I don't think you need to be, 25 before you can travel. I started traveling when I was, by myself, basically once I was in college, I think. And with my family a little bit before that. Part of my personal story is we grew up in poverty, so I wasn't able to travel much as a child. And so now I'm all about trying to encourage people to travel as much as possible, no matter their income, so long as they're not subsistence, as long as they have some disposable income. I want to show you how you can travel cheap and often so you can see the world in a way that I wasn't able to at that age. So anyways, 25 to 44, also like, if you're thinking people who I see on the cruise ships more, that is definitely the range. I think you have to be at least 25 before you can book a cruise on your own for Carnival Cruises. So, and that's the cruise line we cover the most. So 25 and up makes really good sense. And the funny thing is, as you see here, like seniors, 65 plus, is actually a really small demographic. It's about on par with the 18 to 24. And that, I think, reflects the fact that, people used to think that cruises were all about, like retirement groups and communities and seniors and stuff. And it's not like that at all. It is much more diverse, both in terms of, age and ethnicity, let's say. So there you have it. You can see kind of the breakdown, percentage of watch minutes, and the gender split across different ages. Viewer gender. It's probably just going to be not split by age. So over the lifetime of my channel, it looks like I skew male slightly, at 59 to 41. One thing that I've noticed, and I'm still percolating as to what this means, I find that when my channel is achieving a gender split 50-50, it does much better. I get more views and I get more subscribers. When my channel skews male, I get fewer views and fewer subscribers, and I don't know what that means. And my channel's never skewed female, so I couldn't say what the impact of that is. Video, I think, goes by popular videos. It's by watch time. That cannot possibly be the lifetime. I don't know how this is. Only top 11 videos available. I'm not sure exactly what it's showing here. Some of this is absolutely untrue. It's implying, for example, that only men watch my Pier Runner video, my Drunk Guy Won't Leave a Resort in Mazatlan video, and my WestJet Economy Plus video, and there is no way that is true. There's no way I got 612 people to watch. Oh no, that's minutes. That's not views. No, yeah, that video has like 10,000 views. Pier Runners. There's no way the 10,000 plus people that watched my Pier Runner video were all male. So this is take it with a grain of salt at some of these. Geography. Let's take a look. Only top 2 results available, probably because it's lifetime. So like United States is primary and then Canada's number 2. But I bet you if I go to last 28 days, I think I'll get more countries listed. Nope. Okay. There's other ways that you can see this through your analytics, but anyways, that's a little look at that. How you can sort of see and learn about your audience, getting back to how we began with. Still too small to see demographics, but it was buffering. That's cool. Okay, so anyways, I think WarioCraft isn't around, but he was asking about how to see that, so hopefully if he comes back and watches it, that would be good. Angus Explains. Well, hello there to you too. Are you still around? What can I do for you? Do you have a question? Would you like a tutorial, a channel review, get a video unstuck? See, something I said was spot on, or maybe you were replying to somebody else. Sunny Old England. Yes, it can be. The weather was lovely the 2 times that, 2 or 3 times, depending on how you count, that I was in London. I don't think it rained at all. Some cloudy times, but a lot of sunny times too. A lot of sun in my pigeon video. I'm not seeing a comment from you recently, Angus Explains, so unless I hear different, I can do a channel review for you. That's kind of a cool picture. Let's see here. Josh says he made his channel for an escape and for fun. Yeah, that's a great reason, honestly, to get started. Hi, I'm Angus McMungachuk. Is that your real name? I'm curious. And I'm here to explain all of life's little quirks and foibles, from the particulars of a full English. I'm assuming that you're being a little funny, and if this is a comedy channel, then I think you're doing pretty good. Maybe drop the word hi, so that maybe we can see the word that comes after English, because I'm curious what that is. You could say, I'm Angus McMungachuk, here to explain. So you could drop hi and I'm. And then maybe you can get another word after English that might just make the difference to make people want to click and know more. English what? English breakfast? Well, what is it? You know, English customs, English, what foibles, presumably, quirks. 15 subscribers and 5 videos, so I'm thinking a fairly young channel. You do feature prominently in the thumbnails. I would like to ask, what was it I was going to ask? Oh, do you do a character, or is this just straight? Is it just you being yourself, or are you doing a character? Because some of them make me wonder, particularly the picture from like the What is Brexit in your profile, and that appears on the English Breakfast. Hey, English Breakfast, I was right about that. You know, it's a great expression, it's a great picture, for one thing, but it makes me think that it might be a character. And if it is, that's kind of cool. Like a callback to Michael Myers on Saturday Night Live. If it ain't Scottish, it's crap. I can't do the accent, but I appreciate. You know, it was a funny little bit in the '90s. So that was cool. So I mean, it's a young channel. I already talked about activating recommended channels, so I do recommend you recommend other channels. And so those of you who do certain, like a review of certain things, like that toy review channel, if there's a brand that you frequently find yourself reviewing, maybe linking to the official brand is not a bad idea. Or other YouTubers you enjoy. Let's check this About page, because I have questions. I'm here to explain all... From the particulars of a full English breakfast, I was right. And the perfect cuppa to keeping your significant other as happy as... And it goes on from there. Little adult with the content there. Oops. I need to go to playlists. So, your liked videos are visible. I would consider making those private, personally. I also make the people I subscribe to private. I just don't want to get into people trying for reciprocal stuff or judging me by what I watch or all that other stuff. It's... You know, if I'm subscribing, it's because I like it and maybe I want to support it, not because I expect anything in return. And so similarly, liked videos, I recommend people keep private. Because could you imagine if you're judged by the videos you clicked like on? It's not even content you've created, and who knows why you clicked like. And then they judge you by like, let's just avoid all that. I don't know that there's a whole lot I'm going to be able to help a channel that is quite this young. Although, of course, I already talked about social links, so do it. Channel tags, there are none. So, I mean, English Breakfast. And if you're a comedy, skit or sketch comedy, or you're doing a character or something like that, English would be good tags there. Let's see. So, got some views on the 24th. Who wants to bet there was a video on the 24th? Oh, look, there was. See, I tell you, the data lines up almost every time. What was that? What is it? Ron Burgundy's quote or something? Like 60% of the time, it works every time. I'm not even a big fan of that, but it's a good line. My friend uses it a lot. So, yeah, that's kind of in line with what you'd expect. You got the subscriber and you got the views on the day that you put out a video. So, once again, it's proven that there's nothing you can do to help your channel more than getting out a new video. Joined YouTube March 12th. So, been at it 12 days. For 12 days, you're doing very well. But I don't think I can add much more value here in the early days. Just more videos. More videos. Paul Lando, but I don't know what to do with the accented goo on the O. I don't know what that does to the enunciation. So I apologize. Is there anything I can do for you, Paul? I see that you're verified, so you're going to have a whack of subscribers. That doesn't mean that we can't learn from each other, though. Let's see. What do you use for the live streams? I'm using OBS Studio. I do plan/hope one day to graduate to Streamlabs, but I want to become stronger because, as I understand it, Streamlabs is built on the OBS platform, and I'm not sure if I'm right about that. But I want to have a good fundamental understanding of OBS Studio before I move on to the other things, so that hopefully I can support people on both pieces of software. And it's kind of like a slow evolution for me as well. I want to like I only just recently, like yesterday, excuse me, I only just yesterday added this, which was actually an idea I got from Pat Contry's live streams on Twitch. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, put some links there. Why not? Try it out. The next thing on OBS Studio that I want to try out is I believe that it has the option of doing like a, what would you call it? A slideshow, I guess? And so what I was thinking is maybe I would test it out here if I can do like a slideshow thing of like semi-transparent PNGs where I can get it to switch back and forth from like the small YouTubers boost info and like the Vacation Impossible stuff, just to see how it works. Because yeah, I want to help people. I want to support people, and I struggle to support gaming channels, and I know gaming channels use things like OBS and Streamlabs a lot. So I'm hoping that this will increase my knowledge in that area. 90,000 subscribers in 30 days. That is so awesome. Like, congrats, man. That is great. And yeah, any tips that you can offer, man. Like we want to learn from all directions, up, down, sideways, back and forth. That is some amazing growth, and that's just awesome. And, you know, for the small channels out there, I mean, and you know, jealousy is a natural human feeling to have, and, you know, try to put it aside. And the fact is, you know, you're in my live stream. I'm not going to be jealous, you know, in a negative way. I mean, it's something to look up to and aspire to, and I think that's fantastic. One thing I really hate seeing in the small YouTubers group is when somebody is like, oh, get these big guys out of here, they're just bragging. It's like, you're never going to learn if you're picking and choosing who you're learning from. You'll learn, but you're going to learn like a third of what you'd learn otherwise. So, like, let's stop judging people and judging them negatively because they're successful. How backwards is that? That's insane. Like, your pettiness, and I'm sorry, but I feel strongly about this, your pettiness is going to block you from being successful. And you know what? Maybe it should. If you're going to be that upset that somebody else is doing well, then maybe you don't deserve it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being judgy there, but it just pisses me off, you know? It's like, you know, some people are going to look down their nose at small YouTubers, so what are we going to do? We're going to sink to that level and look down our nose up at them? Forget that, man. Let's see. I use Google Trends. It shows you a lot of trends for the moment. It gives you the countries, ages, and you can search topics. That's cool. I did a test. I was doing a video and searched the most watched. Can you do that? Is that a filter? I honestly don't play with this as much as I should. Carnival Cruise. Filter. Can you filter by most watched? Sort by view count. All right, I guess you can. I haven't used this very much at all. Huh. Well, this is broken. Because it has 152K views above 262K views. So I'm thinking this search filter is broken. I know that like the I've heard reports that like the upload date filter has been broken for a while. And yeah, I just said only uploaded within the last hour, and I'm getting things from a year ago. So when they fix that, I will play with that some more. That's it's so basic. You'd think I would know that. So I made a longer video, and it got 1.3 million views. The most popular got 230K in that moment. Then I did it with the other new videos. All got more than 100K views. In that moment, I'm not sure exactly what you're meaning about the moment. Before testing that, I used to have 1K views per video. That's my average. I average about 1,000 views per video these days. Yes, I love it when the big guys give advice. I love it when everyone gives constructive criticism. You can watch my video about constructive versus destructive criticism. But basically, I think that there needs to be... I said 2. I want to increase it to 3. 3 criteria for your criticism to be constructive. 1, it needs to be specific. 2, it needs to give you a suggestion, somewhere to go, somewhere that is better to strive for. And 3, my new criteria that I want to add to it is that you have to do it with no expectations. All right? So it has to be specific. Okay, you know what? The color on your logo sucks. I get that a lot. Maybe it's true. That was on my previous logo. The new one's a little different. But color on your logo sucks. Okay, it's specific. It's about the color and it's about my logo. Still kind of making me feel like crap. Doesn't give me anywhere to go. So give me somewhere to go. The color on your logo sucks. Blue would be better. Try playing around with blue. Well, hot damn. Now I've got myself something I can work with. I can go into Photoshop and do, put a color wash on it, or go and change the colors and the fills or whatever. Cool. All right. I can now take action. It's actionable. That's an important key. But I want to add this third thing. What if I don't do it? What if I don't even have time to explain why? Like I was in a podcast group. I ended up having to leave just because it was so toxic. And I was talking about logos, and they were like, oh, you made yours in Microsoft Word in like 5 seconds. And I'm like, well, that isn't specific. It doesn't give a suggestion. And I don't know what you were expecting, but it can't be anything good. It turns out he was trying to sell me his graphic design services. Can you believe that? Just take a giant dump on me and then offer to fix it for a fee. Oh, slimy. So I definitely had to leave that community because that was dodgy AF. And so that was kind of interesting. But like somebody else was like, oh, because I have a variant of my Vacation Impossible logo for my podcast. And it says podcast in it. And he was like, why is the word podcast so prominent in your logo? It's obviously a podcast. That makes perfect sense. And, like if I saw somebody's logo and it said YouTube, I might, give the same feedback. But the reason it is because I'm trying to have the logo distinguish when you're in podcast realm and when you're in the rest of Vacation Impossible. So it's serving a dual unknown purpose to that particular group. So some of the people were expecting me to take their suggestions and run with it. And in that instance, it didn't make sense with my secondary objective. So if you have the expectation that you will be thanked for your criticism, that they will do what you say, that they will do it the way you envision or the way that you want, is it truly constructive? I think that ideally, I think you can have the first 2 pieces and still be constructive, but if you want to take it to the next level of being really quality, is do it without necessarily expectation of anything in return or that they will do what you say. It is criticism, it is not instruction, command, things like that. And so I think if we wanted to be very good at helping people, that would be the way to do it. So Paul did warn me that his channel was in Spanish. 27 videos, over 100,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool. Like the profile picture. Verified. So, I don't know that I can offer much value to Paul if he's still with us. In chat, I don't know. But I think this does have some useful things in his thumbnails and channel setup that we can kind of learn from. So he's got a very distinct look about his banner. Obviously, the text here is going to be readable at every resolution. He's got his social links over here. He is recommending at least one channel. He has related channels, so the algorithm has said, hey, we know what you're about, so we're going to recommend similar people. That's all very good. His thumbnails have a relatively consistent design aesthetic, which is good. And he's doing some cool things with colors. The images really pop. One thing that's interesting, if you look at his 4th thumbnail here, he's got this arrow. And I've been experimenting with that for a while now because I saw Roberto Blake tutorial on making thumbnails in Photoshop, which is awesome, by the way. I must have watched it like a dozen times so that I fully grasp every step, and now I do it like kind of like I would have it open in another window or on my tablet, and I would like design my thumbnail along with him for the first few times I tried it. So I get a feel for it. One of the things he talks about is these arrows, and we've all seen arrows in these thumbnails. And so he says that it makes it more visually dynamic and it draws the eye to a particular thing in the thumbnail that you want them to look at. And it makes the image dynamic, especially when the arrow crosses over like multiple items in the background or things like that. So like the box, if the arrow comes through the box. or, you know, slightly over the text or something. It just makes the image a little bit more dynamic, a little less static and modular. And so I've been experimenting. I made myself a couple of little arrows that are, you know, semi-transparent that I just copy and then I put as a layer. Oops, sorry, headphone users. When I'm designing, so that's good. One thing also you'll notice here is that he's got a lot of faces that are prominent, and I don't do that very much, but I've read a lot about how that plays into the psychology of things that people are likely to click on. So okay, that mouth thing's kind of creepy, but it's yeah. So I mean, he's got there's a lot there that you can kind of see from a design aesthetic. You know, he's got some playlists here. And I'm willing to bet that those playlists have descriptions. Probably won't click on them right now because I don't want to tank watch time. He's got the community tab because he's got over 1,000 subscribers. And it looks like he's doing some stuff here with the community tab. Vacation Impossible has a community tab, but we're not doing that much with it yet. I'm still figuring out how to utilize it. An inability to read this is a little tricky. But okay, look here. A week ago was, I'm thinking, when he passed 100,000 subscribers, and so he posted a nice little picture. And just for an interesting note on that, hopping over to Vacation Impossible, all you need is 1,000 subscribers. It activates your community tab. And so I did I've posted a few things, but the first thing, scroll, was my graphics thanking people for 1,000 subscribers. And that's actually one of the questions that often comes up in the Facebook group is, should I make milestone videos? People are asking that all the time. And, you know, I don't know. I think that if you're a daily vlogger, if your content is about you and your YouTube journey or your day-to-day life or things of that nature, what I think sometimes they call lifestyle, and I really don't understand what lifestyle is. That would make sense. It would be appropriate, especially if you're putting out daily content about your life and about your channel growth and things like that. Maybe even something like Small YouTubers Boost here. Maybe I would do something like that if we were ever to hit 1,000 subscribers. Maybe I would do a milestone video. I don't know. But if your content isn't about that, then it can actually be bad for your channel. I know I said earlier the best thing you can do for your channel is put out a video, but let's put out videos that try to help more. And so if your videos are all about travel, if they're all about video games, whatever, makeup tutorials, if your milestone video is just, hey, we made it, thanks guys, the algorithm's like, wait, hold on, I thought you were a makeup channel. Why are you talking about YouTube now? Are you about makeup, really? Are you? I doubt it. I don't know now. I'm not so confident. Maybe I'm not going to show your stuff quite as much until I got to get my confidence back up. I don't know what you're up to. And so that's the problem. It's like what I talked about earlier. If I do cruise video for like years, and then road trip videos, like YouTube's like, whoa, hold on, pump the brakes here, guy. What are you doing? What is that? Is that you? What are you about? Well, maybe I didn't know what you were about all this time. Did you lie to me? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's software, so it's not, you know, I'm anthropomorphizing the software a little bit there. But just as a way that we can kind of understand that it's programmed, and so it's similar to having a psychology almost. It has a set of rules that it follows, and it changes itself through machine learning, which is complicated. But anyways, so the thing is that if it's not, so what you could do if you wanted to make a milestone video, I would suggest two things. Either go on a different platform for it. Make your milestone video on Facebook. Make your milestone video in Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Maybe do something everywhere. But because the algorithm is so key to channels that are, you know, niched down and kind of counting on the algorithm or hoping for it or trying to maximize algorithmic advantage, whatever you want to call it, you don't want to disrupt that process. And a stumble there can have consequences that can hurt your growth, unfortunately. But other platforms are less algorithmically driven in the same way. YouTube is, like, I think the top of the algorithm game in terms of, like, social media platforms. I mean, who knows what, like, the NSA people are using. But in social media platforms, I think their algorithm is probably the most advanced and crunches the most data. It hears what you say. It can auto-caption what you say and factor that in. It will read the captions that you write. It will read the title, the description, the tags, the words used in the comments. And it will put all of that along with other things. Like, what other kind of videos have you produced? When was the last time you produced a new video? How many people have subscribed from this video? How many people watched this video and then watched other content? How many people left the platform after watching this video? How many people clicked thumbs up and thumbs down? How many comments are there? Did you reply? Did you pin the comment? Did you give it a, did you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down on the comment? Did you put an info card? Did you put an end card? Is it got a high resolution thumbnail? Is it in a playlist? Does that playlist have a description? Does the title and description of that playlist and the other videos in that playlist align with the things I think this video is about? You see how incredibly complicated that gets incredibly quickly? I could have gone on longer. It's kind of terrifying. Like, I got this crazy idea. Because it is so ravenously hungry for data. What if it's reading the metadata? I talked about this one live stream before, and I'm still playing with it. I don't know, but this is the theory I'm pursuing. What if it reads the metadata from your files? Okay? If you go to the properties of a video or an image, you can add a title that's separate from the file name, a subtitle, tags, comments, author. You can just fill that in. You right-click, choose properties in Windows Explorer, and you can fill all that in. If you upload a picture to Flickr, I know they're kind of dying. I'm building a paywall and stuff and limits on free accounts and stuff, and I've never gotten traffic from Flickr. But I had to try. Everything I could. But when you upload a picture, you have to type in the title and the description and the tags. But if in the picture that you're uploading, you've done that and done it at the properties level, before you upload it, Flickr will pull it out, and you don't have to fill it out. It'll pull it out from the file. Are you telling me that Flickr by Yahoo is more advanced than YouTube? I don't buy that for a second. I do believe it's possible that YouTube might have chosen to ignore that information, but when have we ever known YouTube to ignore information? I think only one time. They don't factor in monetization. They've said this publicly. So monetization status does not factor into how often you get recommended. But what else have they ever ignored other than that? Like nothing. So I'm thinking, I'm putting in the title, the subtitle, the comments, the tags, and the author on both my video files and my picture files that I'm uploading as thumbnails. I don't know if it's helping. I couldn't tell you, but it doesn't take long. It's worth a shot. We'll see. So it's ravenously hungry for data. But when data comes along that isn't in line with everything else, you lose the keyword alignment. You lose the momentum. And you don't want to stumble like that. I've talked about this before. My Six Flags video, when I had it come out the day after Christmas, which is in Canada is known as Boxing Day. And I was seeing family and friends, and I had this idea. This was a couple years ago, and I was like, if I can get this video to 100 views, which back then was quite a bit for me, if I get it to 100 views in its first week, I think it might take off. Possibly. I knew it could be a big video for my channel. So I did it, and I got it to 100 views in like 5 or 6 days, which for me back then was a lot. And it took off. It was getting recommended all over the place, coming up in search and discovery. It was fantastic. We were getting views and views and views. And in like a few months, in like 6 or 7 months, we got like 8,000 views. And then one day I'm playing around my channel, and I accidentally shut down the popular / related channels module. I was like, oh crap, I didn't mean to do that. I turned it right back on. And that was the only change I made that day, or that week, I think, for a couple of weeks actually. And the video came to a dead stop. YouTube stopped recommending it. And it hasn't gotten more than like 100 views since then, and it's been 2 years. So there was an interrupt. There was an interrupt in the momentum. I upset the algorithm. And again, the other example, cruise video, road trip. All of a sudden, when that happened, I started getting recommended less. I was still doing well in search and discovery, but by that point, I had discovered TubeBuddy and I was ranking quite well, so I think that protected me. But the recommended took a hit because YouTube was like, "Whoa, what are you all about, buddy?" So that's why I think it's a risk to do milestone videos. I think it's kind of I don't recommend it for the platform. Go on Facebook. Make a video on Facebook. You know, Facebook has the option to eventually monetize. In order to count towards the Facebook monetization threshold, I think videos have to be watched for minimum 3 minutes. So if you're making Facebook videos and you care about monetization, and many people don't, and that's awesome. But if you do care about that, make all of your Facebook videos at least 3 minutes. Pro tip. So do a milestone video on Facebook. Make it at least 3 minutes. Instagram, shorter time. You could do it as a story, or you could do it as a video. But obviously, there are requirements. They like it the shorter content, or you could go IGTV and do something longer. You could do something. A video on Twitter can do quite well. Again, for that, it's probably you want to do shorter. And so that is for my travel channel how I would manage it, because Twitter isn't going to punish you for putting up an off-topic video, because I don't think it's listening to what you say in the video. You don't add meta tags. Really, like hashtags as part of a tweet, but it's not crunching all that data. It's not algorithmically dependent to the same degree in the same way that it's pulling information from your video and the stuff you put in around it. So if you want to experiment, if you want to do something off-brand, try other places. One of the things that I did it wasn't an experiment. I support the Mario Marathon. They raise money every year for children's hospitals through the Child's Play charity, hospitals from Iraq to Vancouver and all over the world in between. And I've supported them for over a decade now. And a couple of years ago, I guess almost 3 years ago now, I was invited to go and actually appear on the show, which was like life goal. It really was. I'm a little weird. I know that. And so I was invited, and I was so happy. I booked my flights, and I got out there and everything. But I was thinking about this, and I was like, okay, well, they've got a pretty decent audience. Over the years, they've raised, I think, well over like $500,000 at least. I think. In fact, I'm going to throw them up here. I think we're probably getting to the wind down part of the broadcast, because I've been going for a little over 2 hours. Getting a little tired. There's your Mario Marathon. So I support these guys. They're amazing. But they asked me to be on their show, and that was awesome. So, but I was like, okay, you know what? They have an audience. It's a substantial one, and I'm going to be there, and what's that maybe gonna have an impact on my other stuff, on my Vacation Impossible stuff. Small YouTubers Boost wasn't so much a thing back then. It was still in its very infancy. I was only a mod, I think, back then. So this probably would have been, was Small YouTubers? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so, because we just passed 2 years. So yeah, anyways, I remember I was moderating it in the hotel after the marathon. I remember that. So yeah. Anyways, so I was like, but I was just a mod, so I didn't really kind of consider a sense of ownership there. But for my personal stuff on the internet, I'm often known as Cowman. So you can find me on like Instagram and stuff like that, and Twitter as Cowman. So and on the Mario Marathon, I'm known as Cowman. But I used my Vacation Impossible website to drive donations in the past. And I've put out a couple of videos on Vacation Impossible for the Mario Marathon and stuff like that. So what I did is I did a snapshot of my social media accounts immediately before I got on that plane, basically. It was like the day before. And so I opened up an Excel file, and I put all my accounts down, and I put all of like my Twitter, I think it was followers, subscribers, things like that. Not so much likes and views, but just followers, right? And I wanted to see what the exposure that I got from being on the Mario Marathon might do for those things. It's not why I was there, but I thought, hey, you know what? It's an opportunity. Let's measure this, right? Let's see what it does for me. And I saw modest gains in most of my social media stuff in the 1 to 4% range. I think maybe an 11% increase in followers on Twitter, I think, was where it did very well. But Instagram was brutal. I went off brand on Instagram. Instead of talking about travel, I was talking about the Mario Marathon for, the better part of a week. And I lost like 24% of my followers on Instagram doing that. So they were savage to me for going off brand. I mean, it's not mean. They're just like, oh, I don't want to see this anymore. He's changing his stuff. I'm going to unfollow, whatever. But very fickle Instagram, I find. People worry a lot about losing subscribers for trying something new on YouTube. That's not the threat. The threat isn't that you're going to lose subscribers. The way YouTube operates, they don't show your videos to subscribers anyways. So there's almost no threat there. Even with notifications on, it's not 100%. What the real threat with YouTube is, going off brand, is upsetting the algorithm and any momentum that you've built up. So I would watch for that. That would be sort of the thing. Let's see what's going on in chat. Josh doesn't make thumbnails because he doesn't have a computer and he doesn't know how to do them. There are things that allow you to make thumbnails on your phone. I don't do it, so I don't know. But there are some apps out there you can ask in the group, and people will very happily suggest things to you. In terms of custom thumbnails, if you're limited in your ability to make custom thumbnails, what I would recommend, it's not exactly cheating, but it's not great either. So maybe you can't make necessarily the most advanced thumbnail, but at the very least, let's make the algorithm think you are, sort of. What I'm suggesting is get a screenshot of the video if you don't have an image that works well. And you could just upload that as a thumbnail, so you pick the image. As long as it's high resolution, you'll still kind of get that check mark in the algorithm for having uploaded a custom thumbnail. And so that's baseline. You could do that as a bare minimum to help you algorithmically. And then above that, you get some software, and you'll probably get better over time. Throw a little text. Find maybe there's an arrow clip arty thing. I don't know on mobile what you can do. You might be able to, like, I mean, on Instagram, you can adjust things like the what do they call it? The vignette, where like it's shaded in the outside, or you know, you can adjust all sorts of things, you know, contrast and things like that. You can throw text on it, stuff like that. And in fact, if I'm not sure what resolution it's the Instagram pictures save as, but if you do it on Instagram and then just use the local copy of that file, I'm gonna check it right now. Actually, I'm gonna go to on my Android phone. If I go to Pictures, Instagram, call one up, look at it in my file browser, this time only, properties. Okay, not quite HD, it's super close though. Let me check this other one. That wasn't a normal picture, that was from me sharing a podcast. Resolution can be really high. Okay, it depends, I think, on the original image, because I've got one here that's like 5,000 by 3,000 pixels, and so that's enough that you could use Instagram to make your thumbnail. That's a crazy idea, but there's no reason you couldn't. Modify it with whatever things in Instagram that you can, and have Instagram set up on your phone so that it saves a local copy. So these modified images you'll have, and then use a free file, you know, program. On my Android, I use, what is this called? I think ES File Explorer. Get a free file thing, use that, and then upload that as your custom thumbnail. There you go. And you get the algorithmic check mark for having made it, so you're making that effort, and the algorithm's like, oh, are you serious? You get to pick the image that displays, and you get to have done some modification to it. It might not be crazy layers and things in Photoshop, but if it's what you got for now, it's better than not uploading a thumbnail. So there you go. Don't even need to design software, just use Instagram. And also put it on Instagram, why not? Maybe it'll drive traffic, you never know. Poison Taze, no, get out of here with that. That's no, just no. That is a violation of YouTube's terms of service. Your channel will get shut down. Anyone who does that kind of stuff will get their channel shut down. You'll put in your time and work, and then it'll get shut down. You'll come into our Facebook group and say, I lost my channel, I did nothing wrong. We will ask you some questions and find out that you did sub for sub, and then we will have no sympathy for you. And we may laugh and mock you. Not crossing the line into bullying, but, you know, it's not cool. Don't do it. It's against the rules. So from this point forward, you know because I told you. You have no excuse. Don't do that. Reciprocal subscriptions is not allowed. And the funny thing is like other social media platforms, they're kind of okay with that. You know, team follow back on Twitter and like for like on Instagram and stuff like that. Instagram's cracking down on pods, but I think they're actually okay with people doing reciprocal stuff. So hey man, whatever, they can run their platforms the way they want, but YouTube will have none of it. So yeah, I still don't know how to add a thumbnail. Oh, you mean like where to actually click in the app to do that? I don't know either, but ask the group. There's people who do more mobile stuff. I'm more desktop based. I like the ergonomics of having, you know, whoops, did I do something there? Of having a keyboard, of having a mouse, of having a workspace, and you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to have that. I mean, my computer's 5 years old and needs an upgrade, but you know, I got my ring light, and my my microphone things, and so I can see. Am I shadow banned? I've been here for 4 live streams and have never got my channel reviewed. Never even had a comment acknowledged by Ray or other watchers. Can anyone see this? Oh, I can see it. Something or other tour. It's getting a little late in the live stream. We've been going for 2.25 hours, unfortunately. So, you know, subscribe with notifications on so you can get here early, is my advice. And honestly, what I do here, I try to make as accessible for everyone. I'm talking about one particular channel, but what I'm talking about in relation to that channel can relate to a lot of people and a lot of the sort of the shared YouTube experience. So hopefully a lot of that is useful. But we definitely see you there. But unfortunately, I will kind of be wrapping it up. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything too critical here in chat. Yeah, looks pretty good. So I think we'll be wrapping things up today. I hope everyone has had a fantastic Sunday and that your channels are going well. I'm going to, as per usual, because I am Vacation Impossible, I'm going to issue a Mission Impossible style mission to the group. And so your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to learn about your audience. Go look at one of the three, or maybe all three if you want bonus points. Go look at your analytics to see the demographics. What are like the ages, geographies, and genders of your audience? You can go look at the thing I showed you at the beginning of this live stream, going into looking at the analytics from Facebook for things that maybe line up with the audience analytics you get out of YouTube. And also, as where was it here? As Paul mentioned, you can also check out Google Trends. So check out at least, say, two of those three things. Go learn about your audience and just start to understand your audience a little bit more and ask yourself, okay, now that I know my audience a bit better, what can I do with this? So that is your mission if you choose to accept it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. These live streams are available to watch after the fact. I think it takes about 20 minutes or like 2 hours or something. And then you can rewatch from the beginning if you joined us late. There's a lot of good stuff. I'm probably going to be having a Vistaprint unboxing video come out tomorrow, I think. And I do try to take little snippets from these live streams and post them as separate videos so that people can get directly to the point of the tip or suggestion or whatever that might have broad relevance to people. Don't forget to join us in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/small YouTubers Boost. And we are also on Twitter, still figuring out exactly how we're going to use it, but it's good. That's actually been a good way of communicating when we know about downtime and errors coming up with YouTube. So that's a good account to follow. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the group. This live stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds.